Come back.
I always come back. Why do they always have to go bigger?
Jurassic World.
Why do they always have to go bigger?
Jurassic World.
Why do they always have to go bigger?
Jurassic World.
Hello, hello. All right, let me get the headphones on now that I've had that panic. You are dealing with a very, very dozy Hewlett today. I did my what is it called? Shingles vaccine yesterday, and it just kicks the butt out of me. Kicks the butt out of me. I don't even know what that means. Okay, let's see. Let me test some sound. Make sure I'm getting sound. If I do this, make sure I'm getting sound. Will I see that? If I do this, make sure I'm getting sound. Yes, I will. Okay. Yes, I will. There we go. Okay. So that is all sorted. It's funny how I see every stream I see. I mean, it doesn't begin exactly as badly organized as this, but every single one always has whoever's streaming looking around, going, clicking, and lots of frantic clicking and stuff, trying to figure out what the hell's going on for the beginning of their stream. David, you need one. You only need one. What? I only need one what? Or you only need one David. Welcome, Brian Brew. Brian Brew. Hello, David. Nice to see you. Hope everything's okay. It is Paul. As I say, I just I had this vaccine shot yesterday, and man, whew, it has kicked me for a loop in the whatever. So I was seriously debating whether I was just going to have to sleep through this vaccine thing today, but I thought, you know what? I've done too much damn research. Brian Bruh, hi Meredith, first time chat. Well, welcome, enjoy. How did we get 43 people in here so fast? I guess there's nothing like watching me fail to get a stream going. Babylonia 51, another first time chat. Where's everyone coming from today? That's fantastic. Okay. So a bunch of stuff before I drag in my poor unsuspecting tech bandits who are completely suspecting because Wolf Pup's already in the chat, I see. I thought Tuesday was for chatting and Wednesdays for magic. It is. If you refresh your page now, if you want to refresh the stream, you will get what we are talking about today. And it is a seriously odd selection of stuff. But I just, there were a couple things I wanted to talk to. Baz had some questions because he was talking about doing some exercise stuff, going to the gym and all this kind of horrid stuff that I should really be doing that I don't. And I just don't know anything. Hey, Czech Republic. How are you, Anubish? Anubish, which I love, I've got to say as a name. Anubish. Is this quiet for anyone else? Do you need me to turn it up? Yeah, let me turn it up. How's that? That's what it's normally set at. Is that better? Gimpy G, is that better? Gervais 54. There you go. Oh, I didn't even change. Oops. Yeah, if you refresh your stream, it should show you what we are actually up to now, which is kind of fun. It's named Plastic Munching Muscle Magnifying Mushroom Madness today. So, Dr. N, PhD, is in the house. Hey, and Orlon Browncoat's here. Let me guess. Is that little Firefly? God, what a great show that was. Just amazing. And one of the highlights of my life was actually getting to be in a show with Jewel State, having watched Firefly, because just, man, that woman's amazing. Viking Spawn is throwing beer at me. I love it. Wolf Up, I think you now have a cool chat thing. I think I now have a cool chat thing. You got a cool chat thing? Brown coats. David, when are you coming to Peru? Oh, God, I'd love to. I would love to come to Peru, show you around. It'd be like going into a Stargate, into a peaceful world for you to discover. I would do that in a second. I'd love to do that. We're sort of starting to travel again now, sort of. I mean, Jane's much more into it than I am. I have this weird anchor-like mode that I'm in right now, where I'm just at home. I just enjoy being at home. Coming to a convention in Texas too. God, I'd love to go to Texas too. I hear so many weird and crazy things about Texas. I hear wonderful things. I hear terrible things. And it's a place that I've always wanted to go to. So another place I want to go. I was just at Awesome Con in DC, and there was a disappointing lack of Firefly and Stargate representation. Really? What was there, Dr. N, PhD? Iron Ham. What are you doing subscribing to your dad's damn channel, Iron Ham? I am Iron Ham. Sending love. I love it. The kid was feeling a little under the weather today, so So he stayed home, and he's going to help me out with this stream today, which is kind of fun. And I want to talk to Vibe Pup about something too. Here you go. Let's get into this. Let's get into our Discord and see what's going on here. Hello, Discord. And my little sister, Moiracle, has been looking at the streams and says that she's found some more connections with the new curriculum, which is kind of interesting. Am I in the right channel? I'm not in the right channel. Here we go. Apparently, Ontario has a whole new channel thing. Hello?
Hello.
This is always the test, whether it works or not. There we go. I turn on my headphones. That always helps. Who have we got in the chat today? Anthony Easy. Bad food. Woohoo! Gimpy God. Oh, dear. It's going to be one of those days. Is it Gimpy God? Ham. Techbandits. That's me, I believe. And, of course, Vibe Pup, who we just can't do a show without. Are people talking and I'm just not hearing them? Is that the case?
No, I just was not talking.
Oh, you guys are so quiet. It's creepy. You guys are creepy, lurky people.
Well, I see all these kids here, and I'm like, dang, they got to take it over.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
They leapt straight in. Plus, I introduced you so well, didn't I, Lance?
It's true.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, I realized something, Lance. When I talk about you or things you've said, or I'm mocking and deriding you in my real life, I realize I refer to you as Gimpy G, and
which is fine.
Which is fine with you. But what does that mean? In the real world, though, I've got definitely some pretty harsh stares when I've brought
really.
Up. Yeah. In public, I've had chats with I'll be having a chat with Jane or someone, and it's people's heads just snap round like, what the hell? Who says
Gimpy,
like
what?
that? So I'm trying to call you Lance more because but you like Gimpy God or like Gimpy G, right? What are your
Gimpy G works for me. I mean, that's what everybody calls me in games and all that. So
you know what?
I noticed you're trying to change, but that's okay. You know, whatever you feel. You know, if you're have to go with the crowd, whatever.
Well, in my real world, I've got to start calling you Lance because people definitely get. Well, Teresa was a great example. I mentioned it to Teresa when we first talked about the show, about Upgrade Required and stuff, and she was quite taken aback when I referred to you as Gimpy G.
And Gimpy G, okay.
It's kind of weird. And we were at this Greek restaurant, and it was that's the one I'm actually thinking of, to be honest. And then, of course, she was much more relieved once because she just thought, "Oh my God, I am working with the most ableist bastards I've ever met." Who refer to so that so. How are you doing, Bat Food? Are you here by accident or are you here on purpose?
No, I'm here by purpose.
How are you? Are you back to skating again now? Are you still on a break? What's the deal?
The thing is, I told you a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That I didn't have any training at all.
Right.
But the thing was I didn't know that my coaches would put in this extra late ice practice.
Oh no! You got another one?
Yeah. So I had this for 4 weeks.
So it's 4 weeks, and what time do you have to go in?
So now it finally ended these hard weeks with very late training, and now this week it's my final week in school, so it's my week off.
Oh, okay, so it's not exams and stuff.
No, that was last week.
So what time did you have to train? Were you training at night, you said?
Kinda. I came home at 10, 11, and I had to do school and homework.
Wow. Life is tough in Sweden.
Yeah.
Wow. If you paid me, I'd do that homework for you. I'm pretty good at it.
That's why Gimpy G's here, is to basically undermine your education any way that he can.
Exactly.
You sure as hell ain't doing the skating for her. No, neither am I, for that matter.
Exactly.
So just so people know, Bat Food, who's been named... Why do we name you Bat Food again? It was because you kept getting eaten by something.
We played D&D, and I got attacked by all the bats.
For some reason, I had this image of you in Minecraft being attacked by bats, but that's right. It was Dungeons and Dragons. So Bat Food is Elsa from Sweden, and she is well, I mean, I've seen footage, so I can say a very talented skater who is being pushed to the limit of her endurance with the amount of training she's had to do. And what do they try to train you up for?
To the elite level. So.
Do we have to call you Elite? We should change your name to Elite Bat Food then, or Bat Food Elite. How about Bat Food Elite? That sounds good.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe. She's like, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
So what and what grade is this that you're going to be finishing up this year? What's the or is it how does it forms? How does it work?
In Sweden, it is 8th grade.
8th grade. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And man, it's funny. You sound older than 8th grade.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the accent. I don't know. It's there's a sophistication to your language. Maybe it's a translation thing. I don't know, but you sound older than grade 8.
Probably.
I know at grade 8 I was not able to have, I would I'd grunt.
Well, she's had a lot of discipline in her life, though.
Oh, that's true.
So, by grade 8, you're rolling around. The most disciplined thing you do is wipe your butt, that kind of stuff.
I'm still there.
Right.
So James Gurney's saying that he was the one who set bats on you, right? And
right.
Yeah.
And if you want to get your revenge, by the way, he's going through a security check right now so that he can become an American citizen, or he can work in the States. I can't remember, it's a green card or something. So you could just write a letter saying that he set bats on you, and then that stops him from working in the States. Just so you know. Yeah. What age is 8th grade? What age is 8th grade? That would be
14.
13?
In Sweden, it is 15.
Oh, 15.
15, 14.
Okay. What about you, Wolfpup?
Here it's 13, 14 area.
Right, because Baz is in... What grade are you in, Baz?
So I'd be grade 9, but I think I'd be year 8 in England, or in
right.
European places.
Yeah. It's yeah, I get so confused with the grades. I can't keep track of the damn things. My sister says I call her Moiracle. I used to call her Moipocalypse because she can be such a disaster, as can all Hewletts. But so I used to call her Moipocalypse, and then one day she said, "Some days I just don't want to be a Moipocalypse." So I said, "Oh, that's interesting." So instead of starting the conversation by now, when I answer the phone, I don't say Moipocalypse. I now go Moiracle, because it's more like a miracle. And that seems to cheer things up a bit for her. So that's
Nice.
she's a trained teacher like Gimpy G before her, and she's been looking at the new curriculum, and she says the new science curriculum in Ontario is actually quite good. She's quite impressed with some of the changes they made.
Yeah, right.
Tell her not to look at Texas and Florida. It'll just scare her.
I just got invited to Texas.
Well, that's great.
Someone just
Don't
invited
look
me
at
in
their
the chat.
curriculum.
Someone just invited me in the chat here. Mac X3D, by the way. Mac times 3D. Thank you very, very much for your subscription. That's very kind of you. I try to keep track of all this stuff. I did say thank you to Iron Ham.
If you went to Texas, could you grow a big, a handlebar mustache again?
I would,
and
totally
have
do
a
that.
6-shooter,
dude. I could
and a bandolier.
I'm almost there, and I have a guitar, so I could bring my.
Damn.
And then I grow this out a bit, and I'd actually have a really good mustache and no hair. I think would be a good way to go. Yeah,
I think so. A big handlebar, shaved head.
Yeah,
man,
that's where I'm going.
I think Texas, it's time.
Yeah, so I'd either look like a member of the YMCA. What is it called? The Bay City Rollers. Or what are they called? Who did YMCA?
Village People.
Village People. So either I'm going to look like a member of the Village People, or I'm going to look like a kick-ass, justified Deadwood kind of guy.
That's what I think.
All right, so
or the cook, that the old guy's yeah, maybe want some beans with that.
Yeah, that's true. The cook. There's always the bald cook. That's so true.
Yeah.
Village People. Thank you, James Kearney. That was pretty quick. James got that pretty quick. He's probably listening to Village People right now. YMC. That would probably get me demonetized, wouldn't it?
No.
All right. Don't forget the cowboy hat. I used to have a great cowboy hat. It was a straw cowboy hat. It was a black straw cowboy hat, and I loved it. I used to wear it to all the conventions and stuff. But now I don't know. Joel Descendant has a question for us. What could that be? Hello, Joel Descendant, by the way, for your first time chat. I'm a fan. Well, I like you already. I'd like to ask, what was your favorite role you had in a Vincenzo Natali film? Oh, funny you should ask that, because I think there's a trailer up now on Netflix for the new Guillermo del Toro Cabinet of Curiosities, which my friend which my friend Vincenzo Natali directed. It's kind of it's very, what would the term be? What is it called? If it's I've got no brain today because of my vaccine and the fact that I have no brain. It's impressionistic. It's lots of images rather than storyline stuff. And they list everybody in all of the films, right? They do all the name. Everyone is all the leads of all the films, and then they stop just before me. Jane was like, "Oh, come on!" I was like, that's a story of my life. They always get to the last one and they go like, Hewlett, whatever. Everyone knows Hewlett's in there already.
Now, can we do a viewing?
Stylistic, is that the word? What does it mean if you're not? Is it what is it? I'm trying to think of the word. What's a good magical realism? Well, that's always Guillermo, isn't it? So yeah. So my favorite thing that I've worked on is the long story of this is my favorite thing that I've worked on with Vincenzo. I guess maybe because it's just the most recent was this Cabinet of Curiosities episode, and it is extraordinary. It was shot in black and white, although I think they're doing a colored version as well. It's insane. It's like Evil Dead meets like Nosferatu meets. I don't even know. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. So I can't wait to see that. And that's going to be out. Expressionistic. That's what I'm thinking. Is that what I mean? Expressionistic? What is it? When you show people random images and it's all kind of weird instead of actually being clear as to what's going on. I don't know what the term would be. I feel that Gimpy G or James Gurney should have jumped in on this already. Oh yeah, it's Impressionism. I'm not sure if it's Impressionism though. Everyone should complain about leaving me out for sure. And by the way, thank you. I guess it is Impressionism. I guess that is it then, James. Thank you. By the way, thank you to everyone who reported my wife's Instagram. I did this desperate plea. So Elsa, my wife's Instagram got hacked. Someone stole.
Yeah, I saw your on Instagram that
my desperate plea.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of wild. It's the reason why I want to start getting people's email addresses instead of just having their contact through Twitter or through Facebook and stuff. Because what happens when these services go down? Or in the case of Jane, Jane is like a friendly, nice person who actually talks to people. And so she has her friends are on that thing. And then she's also a producer. So she's got a lot of, producer-like contacts as well. And then some jerk sends one of her friends some kind of a phishing email or whatever. She loses her account, and then that account is then used to hack or to phish my wife, right? So my wife got a direct message from one of her very close friends saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm desperate. You've got to help me out. Can you please download this and sign it and send it back to me?" Mm-hmm. And so she, being a good person, goes, "Of course," and clicks on it and goes, "Oh, that's weird. It just asked me to log back in again." There you go. She loses her account, right? So I feel like I want to have a way of just and if you've got other suggestions, by all means. I feel like I know all these people, but I only know them through these platforms that I'm on. I don't have their direct connection. I can't email them and say, "Hey, you talked about this the other day," or even just say, "Hey, you know what? We're doing a whatever, we're doing a fundraiser or something, or hey, come and watch us, make fun of Gimpy G or something." It's just weird to think that we are so reliant. People have entire careers based on being on Twitch or on being on YouTube, or even to some extent being on Twitter, I guess, and Instagram and things. What happens if someone steals? What if you're a really big Instagram influencer and you lose your account? That's terrifying to me because you've got no control, right?
Yeah.
Felicia Day emails a newsletter. I think that's smart. Yeah, I think it does. Thank you, James, for doing some modding. Anyways, okay. So I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk to you about. One of them was actually, you know what, Elsa? This is a perfect day for you to be in. Perfect day. because you
Is
do
it? Why?
well, because you do sports, right?
Yeah.
So that means you got to be fit, and that means you got to have muscles. You got to have
And
muscles.
that means you're gonna take steroids.
And well, no, that's my so my question. How did you jump to that, Iron Ham?
Because that's what you're gonna bring up.
I'm gonna bring up steroids for sure, but I'm not. But first, I wanted to find out
Okay.
what does. Well, actually, that's an interesting question though. Are there? Do you know? Are there kids using steroids? Do you think in skating?
No,
Skating.
definitely not.
Definitely not. You don't think that's something?
No.
Because didn't that Russian skater got caught? Didn't she?
Yeah, but I don't think it was steroids.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, it's
No.
other performance-enhancing drugs.
Um,
Steroids aren't very much used for like sports. It's more so like
Because
other
they can be-
performance-enhancing drugs, like stamina-enhancing drugs, or like stuff that
Oh, I
increases
see.
your
so
like
they've got
blood flow,
sneakier.
stuff like that.
They've got sneakier about it.
Well, sort of. Well, steroids are more like it gives you more muscle.
It
Like
definitely
it builds muscle
up.
quicker.
Yeah, it stops. It stops. What is it? It stops the. Now James will probably have to correct me on this, but it stops your body from telling you to stop producing the proteins needed to build the muscle. I believe it's something
Yeah,
like
so, like-
that. It messes with it, but the repercussions sound horrific. Like
If you were a
Wait.
figure skater, I don't think you'd want like a ton.
No.
of muscle.
Bulk,
No.
bulk would be bad.
Bulk
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
So
Can you
steroids-
imagine? All of a sudden, Elsa just like comes onto the ice, and the ice just breaks, and she falls through the ice because she's like this giant mutant looking Elsa. Yeah, but I imagine there must be obviously the Russian. I'd be interested to know what the Russian was using, because maybe is it something to make your twitch reflexes better or to help you focus, or I'd be curious to know. Oh, she was busted for using a heart medication.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Huh. Yeah, steroids aren't necessarily bad in themselves. They help a lot of people. They're great for burn victims too, right? Because if you have a burn and it destroys the muscle, steroids will help you build back grow back those muscles.
What are the steroids you take for like bronchitis or when
Yeah.
you're just sick? It doesn't have to do with muscle.
I've got the
What's
Ventolin
that
thing.
doing?
But again, I think that's improving the muscle in the lungs, right? It's improving
You think?
the capacity of the lungs to do the work. I believe, because I've had
I
those
don't
before too.
think so.
Do they not?
Because they told me steroids won't do anything for me, but I've been on those type of corticosteroids, I think they
Corticosteroids,
call them.
yeah.
What are those, James?
Oh, limiting inflammation. That makes more sense. So in other
Okay,
words, so
there
when
you
I have
go.
when I have an asthma attack, which I really don't do that often, but when I do, it would I guess stop my lungs from getting all generic for a type of chemical. I know it's got to be frustrating, isn't it? That's something else that they mentioned. There's a bunch of videos. Okay, let me see if I'll bring out some of my. Did the Russians the Russians? Yeah, the Russians have a terrible reputation for doping in
Brew.
sports, don't they? Brew.
Well, they're not on the Olympics anymore. Now it's what is that called?
Yeah, they're called like the Russian Olympics or something. The Russian
Like-
athletes or something. They're called.
No, it's ROC. I think it's Russian Olympic Committee.
Ah,
Newcastle is that a big bunch of people.
what was that?
It was my nephew talking. I told him, it's people. But
It
he's
sounded
like
interesting
talking
though.
about-
It sounded interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know
what-
what's got people now, Trent.
Your mom.
My mom. Oh, he's doing mom jokes.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. You're a mom. Okay. All right. I'm gonna look up a couple of things that I have here that I looked up because that was kind of neat. Okay, but Elsa, let me ask you this: what kind of things do you have to do to build up your like stamina and muscles to be able to do the kind of skating that you're doing?
I think it's the most like leg muscles.
Yeah. And how are you helping those?
Yeah.
Like skate a lot.
No, but we do have like this off ice like training every day after our ice training.
Oh, so you're doing like, and are you
So-
doing like weight training, or are you doing running, or what? Are you,
Really?
what sort of
Holy
stuff?
smoke.
Sometimes we do weight training, but it's a lot of like what do you call it? You like train up your, what is it called? I don't know what it's called.
Describe it.
Your glutes, your quads. No.
You do like rotations. You try
Okay.
like on the ground. You try to.
Oh yeah, like fitness circle sort of things, like where you do like an activity and everyone has to do it, and then it's like they switch.
Aerobic stuff.
Yeah.
Is it like one? There's like a.
Maddie Holmes got that for us.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I think we do like this circle exercises, we call them in Swedish, and we do like rotations on land to like practice rotating like on the ice.
Oh, so you do skating stuff without skates?
Yeah.
Ha! I guess that's good for building up strength.
It's like skating Tai Chi.
The
Here's
martial
a
art.
question.
The
This is
skating
an
martial art.
odd question, I think. But at your level, Elsa, is there a psychological component? Like, do you see somebody gets a little bit of, I'd say therapy or something, make sure you're not being overstressed or pushed too far?
Yeah, my mom actually got me a mental like coach.
Oh, really?
Cool.
So I did that for like a few weeks, and then she gave me like a few exercises I could do before
like
competition.
What? Can you give us is that giving away too much if you tell us?
It's like no. It's like breathing exercises to help you like calm down.
So you're not freaking out before you go in.
No, exactly.
That's smart. I hadn't even thought of that, Gimpy G. That's so. Of course, you've got the psychological side of this stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think you can't lift a weight, then there's no way you're going to lift a weight. I'm guessing.
The funny thing is that when I think that like I can do it and everything positive, that's when I mess up. So
oh really?
I
really? Yeah.
I do have to think like natural, like I just go on the ice and do it, not like any feelings and this could go bad and this could go good, but just like natural. And
I do that with auditions.
Don't thinking.
I used to find that with auditions. I used to get really, really, really nervous, and there were always people who had different suggestions on what they used to do, and some people would have like a secret that they would do that they'd have that they wouldn't, and people had all these different tricks for it, and there were people I knew who used to take drugs. They used to take things to help calm down before they went into an audition, and I was always like, I don't think I should do that because I feel like if I'm going to get a job, you got to be able to do the job. I can't be popping pills the whole time. That's interesting. Do you get very nervous before you go in?
I do get really nervous.
And what do you do? Like, you get just like that, your stomach goes and your stomach's bugging you and
and I get really like shaky.
Yeah, the shaky. Which has got to be tough if you're skating.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you enjoy it?
No.
Do you enjoy it?
Like,
not the shaky.
I feel so like I don't feel really good at competitions, but that's why I do the breathing exercises to like calm down.
But it's got to feel pretty good when it's over, though.
Yeah.
That's my thing is I always think about like I'm going to feel so good after this, after the audition. I mean, again, I'm going by fat old guy audition, not flinging myself in the air like a like an acrobat. But it does go a long way to just try to figure out how to like calm yourself down. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look up stuff on that because I'd be curious to know what the best way of talking yourself out of these things is, because I think you can really get in your own head. All right, so there's a couple. I'll put some links in the chat because I was looking up. I had this thing where I was like, okay, Baz, you're talking about doing some exercise, right? Going to the gym and all that kind of stuff, right?
He's gonna get cut.
You're gonna get cut? You wanted to go to the gym. You wanted to start going to the gym with friends and stuff, right?
Not with friends, but yeah, I wanted to go to the gym.
But because he has no friends.
You have no friends.
So you were telling me that you have to do this thing where you like exercise, then you eat a lot of something or something. You were talking about bulking up or something, right? And I was like, I don't know.
That's not what I was going to do, but yeah, that's something that people...
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry. No, I didn't mean to say that you were going to start. Yeah, Baz is going to start at steroids, and so we're talking about that.
Okay.
No, he was talking about how some people will go in and they'll work out and they drink these like we thought they were carb drinks, but I think
they're protein.
Protein.
They're
Yeah.
protein.
Protein, yeah.
I never said carb shakes.
So I looked into. Well, maybe you didn't. Maybe I thought you said that. So I started looking into it because I was like, how do muscles work? Like I was like, wait a second, how do muscles work? Like the concept of how muscles work was so completely strange to me. And then I know this is something that, of course, James will laugh at because he does this stuff all the time. But I suddenly went, when I discovered how complicated the process was of a muscle working, I was like, someone's got to have designed this. I found myself literally doing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found myself going like, how on earth does this happen by accident? And I guess I know it. I mean, not by accident, but I know that it's a process. But the idea that your brain sends a signal to a muscle, which releases a chemical, which then permeates your cell, and tiny little arms stick up and ratchet a material that you're beside along a little bit. And when that happens a billion times with all these hundreds of thousands of little muscle cells, you actually move the muscle. And I was like, and then it goes back to resting again. It's just such this incredible complex sort of dance. And I've put a link in here to this. I put a link into this. What's it called? This crash course, biology, and it's just extraordinary. He goes through all of the entire process of how these muscle things work. I'll show you just a little tiny bit of it, because it just blew me away. And like I said, like I know I'm sort of being a little bit facetious. I'm not really saying I thought God had done this, but I definitely found myself going like, okay, how did maybe an alien, or something like.
Well, but then the alien has to come from somewhere. Too.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I just don't know how this. I mean, how on earth they managed to do this stuff?
Did they talk about the precursors at all? Like, what in a more simple animal was this muscle before?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I assume that it's got something to do with like, those single cell flagellums.
Flagella. Yeah.
But
I'll bet James could talk us all the way through up to where we are now.
Well,
probably.
There you go. There is a grandeur in this view of life, with its several powers having been originally breathed into a few forms or into one, and that whilst this, I can't read it because I'm in the wrong screen.
Is this in chat?
Yeah. Breathe whilst this planet has gone cycling on according to the fixed law of gravity. From so simple a beginning, endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, have been and are being evolved. Wow. Is James gone all poetic on us?
Wait, that was James?
That was James Gurney, like just throwing out.
Somebody smoking weed.
No, it's from Darwin. There you go. Yes, exactly. There you go, Darwin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I understand that this is not something that's just been like. I understand that God just hasn't shown up and gone footing, and then we've all got muscles. But just the process of this thing is so complicated. Let me see if I can bring this up.
It's so complicated it can go terribly wrong. Hence Q and I.
Ah, yes, because yours is muscle related, right?
Correct. Well, the nerves, that nerve step just before the muscle.
So, in other words, your muscles are not getting the signal from the nerves. Is that
right? That's why no exercise could help, because it's not receiving a signal.
Right.
Right.
But so is there no way to just get you those chemicals?
I guess that's what that Spinraza is working towards, but as we said, that's $1 million a year plus 350,000 a year upkeep thereafter.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, in fact, it's totally crazy. Let's see if I can find this window that has.
I mean, I can barely come up with $1 million a year, just from my knickknacks. So
just from your exotic dancing, I know it's
right. I didn't want to say that the kids are here, but yeah.
No, they know exotic dancing. All right. So this is I can't remember if it's Hank Green or one of the Greens talking about this stuff. It's I'm going to try to see if I can find where they get into the actual nuts and bolts here. There
Why?
we go.
Why was there mushrooms and you and a muscle guy?
Oh, because we're gonna get to mushrooms too. I'm hoping.
Okay.
It's these plastic-eating mushrooms. They're amazing. And by the way, that was John Cena's body. John.
It wasn't
Cena.
you.
No, wasn't me.
That was your pecs.
I know it's hard to believe with my giant head like that.
That's your pecs. Come on.
So this is the inside of the muscles, these muscle fibers, and I just couldn't get over. I want to get to the little ratchety part. There's like this little there. Ooh. All right, check this out. Sliding filament model of muscle contraction. This blew me away. So inside all of those little muscle fibers is this little like nature's ratchet system, which stops things from connecting the two strands until the right chemical shows up. Then it moves the thing that's stopping them from connecting, and then up pops the other one and it moves it along, and then it just drops back into place again. And it's just like, it's this incredible biological ratchet, basically. And I was like, holy crap, that is like, and that's got to be happening thousands and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of times in order to move the way we move. I just couldn't get over how incredibly complex the system was. And it's all about like, it's like pumping calcium in and out, and the voltage changes within the cell. And it's extraordinary. I highly, highly recommend that everybody read this. And also, Baz, if you're going to try to do exercise and you want to be smart about how you do your exercise, you got to figure out how the muscles work, right? If you don't know how the muscles are working, you're going to fall for every single fad diet or, hey, you take these things and you'll be Superman. I mean, like, there's so many fake ads or so many stupid, like, fatty stuff, faddy, F-A-D-D-Y, not fatty, things on YouTube, like people trying to sell you like bulk up overnight and all this kind of stuff. It's an area of the commercial world that is extraordinarily kind of scammy, if that makes sense. It's almost as bad as NFTs. It's almost as bad as cryptocurrency, the health stuff.
Didn't you make an NFT?
I don't know what you're talking about. Cancel everything. That's it. Shut it down.
Crazy.
I was gonna do it because I thought it would be real. I just thought it'd be really fun to know how to do it from the procedure standpoint. And then I didn't because I thought it just got so scammy. Like, it's really. If anyone wants to listen to a great podcast, there's one called Darknet Diaries, and they've just done a whole thing on like SIM swapping and how people steal like all this stuff from people. And I just feel like the NFT world, the crypto world, not only is it risky to start, it's risky to do. It's risky to try to get into it as a business. It's risky to buy it as a business. There's just so many different points of weakness where you can get ripped off. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but you just got to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's too easy to get ripped off. Kind of like, like Jane losing her Instagram. It's as simple as
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I mean, thank God Jane didn't have crypto, what is it called? It's called Darknet Diaries. It's absolutely my favorite. It's my favorite podcast. Absolutely.
See, if Jane's got a different connection to humans than you and I, if somebody writes something nice to us, we go, who are you? What do you want? But she's like, if somebody asks her something nice and she's like, oh, yes, I hear this all the time and I shall help.
Yeah.
Not us. We're like, who are you?
She's like a good person. I don't trust anybody. It's true. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I do think that's but I think it's not a bad idea to not trust people entirely, right? I like stranger danger. I think it works well. Stranger danger works for me. Okay, so I see Hank Green still going over there, but the way this mechanism works is extraordinary. So I would definitely check it out. But so then I started looking up. I was like, okay, wait a second. So if there's all this chemical stuff happening, is there something you could do to get bigger muscles? So you understand? Does everyone know how muscles get formed? How muscles get bigger?
We gotta go put that money on one account.
Does that make sense? Oh, we're hearing about accounts. Is that okay, Gimpy G?
Are you hearing accounts?
I'm hearing about accounts.
We're fine.
Yep. Okay. Just to make it sure. Can we get? I didn't quite hear the account number. Could I get that again?
Was there an account number you wanted David to know? Okay.
I just like to warn you just in case, because I'll have all your crypto if I can. So yes, Matty Holmes has got it. They do micro tears and then they rebuild. So basically, what happens is you're actually tearing.
Oh, really?
You're tearing the muscle cell, is it, or is it the muscle fiber? I'm not sure. And then the tearing and repairing, it basically bulks it up. It's like wrapping a bandage around a broken. It's like the muscle gets torn. You wrap a bandage to help fix it. Like things grow to fix it up, and that of course makes it bigger. So the more you can tear it and repair, the muscles will get larger that way. So my question was: is there something you could do to help speed that up? Are there any foods that you eat, Elsa? Any special foods or anything?
A lot of protein.
So you do. So you do have a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Do you drink like protein shakes?
No, but in like a vegetarian way. So.
Are you vegetarian?
I am not a vegetarian. I can eat meat, but
You don't like to.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I struggle with it sometimes, but I really like a steak once in a while and a burger. Although I got to say, the veggie burgers are, I think, better than the regular burgers now.
Yeah.
So you eat protein. You eat lots of. So give me an example. Like, so the night before a comp test, before you're going to do like one of your skate offs. What do you call it? Probably not a skate off. Skate competition.
No, a competition.
Okay, so the night before a competition, what do you eat?
Nothing special. Like really, it could be pizza. Literally.
I'm in. So you're saying I could be a professional skater because I like pizza.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Perfect. Wow, really? So you can eat pizza the night before? For some reason, I thought you had to do like special. You're drinking soup broths or something, but no, you just eat pizza. But are you on purpose trying to do more carbs than you would normally do the night before you do a competition?
No, I don't. I just don't. I like to don't think about the competition. So,
right.
It's like then at morning I eat like a more special breakfast. So yeah.
Right. So the morning you'll have a special breakfast. What kind of a special breakfast? I'm trying to get all.
What's that called?
I'm trying to get all the tricks. Porridge?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love porridge. Do you put lots of sugar and lots of sugar on it, and sometimes some butter?
No, I do.
I make
Sometimes
the most unhealthy.
I eat oatmeal or sometimes
like
I
granola.
Eat porridge. So yeah.
Right, and that's good for energy as well.
Yeah.
Huh. So I'm curious to know, does anyone, are there any bodybuilder types in the chat? Does anyone do any of this stuff? Any of this kind of like, I know, James, it's amazing. It's a Scottish thing. The Scots put butter on their porridge and it's so freaking good. God bless Scotland. Does anyone do any weightlifting or anything? Does anyone do any of this kind of stuff? I'd be curious to know if anyone does. Deep fried porridge. That'd be the way to go, Jonathan MLH. That would be great, actually. Salt. James R. Gurney puts salt. I've done salt. Salt's not bad. I put salt in anyways, but I hate butter. Really? Who hates butter? There's something wrong with people who don't like butter. I once had a chicken hot dog. The texture was weird. I had a veggie hot dog and they were really good. Okay, so I guess I'm just curious. Like, okay, what about Gimpy G? What about you? Is there anything you have to be eating? Are you supposed to be eating to help you with your stuff? Was he gone? Have we lost him?
I'm here.
Oh, you are. Is there any kind of food or anything you're supposed to be eating to help you with your situation?
Not that I've been told, but again, we were surprised I'm alive,
Right.
So anytime I go to the doctor and I'm not dead, they go, keep doing what you're doing.
Whatever you're doing it right.
Yeah.
I know you say that sort of jokingly, but you're also kind of serious about it, right? I mean, like that's actually that's true.
Yes.
People with your condition often don't live as long as you have lived. Is that right?
Correct. I'm just about 50 years older than anticipated.
50?
So,
50?
50. That's how old we are, dude.
Holy moly. You are 50
18
years
months
older
to 2
than.
years.
So at age like 4, you were supposed to kick it.
Oh, I was supposed to be gone way before then.
Really?
That's mom and dad couldn't sleep and all those things because they were told. And then they were also told, remember, we're old. So they were told to, like, just put the kid in a home. That way you won't have to worry about it because you're not going to be able to take care of him anyway. It's going to be too much. And then he's going to pass away. Just move on. And,
Really?
you know, that they didn't do that, so.
And how were you supposed to, what was supposed to get you? What did they think was going to get you?
Breathing. Eventually your
Oh, right.
your diaphragm and stuff shuts down.
Oh, so because your
And
diaphragm
then-
is not voluntary, is it? So it's, because it's just your.
I mean, involuntary, you mean? Or it's kind of both, isn't it?
I guess it's
That
kind
I was
of
going to ask that because you were talking about muscle. There's smooth muscle and then there's fibrous muscle, right?
skeletal muscle.
Like
Is
you're-
that I'm
I
not.
can't remember.
I know that the muscles we're talking about for working out, I believe, are skeletal muscles, which connect
Okay.
to the skeleton. The smooth muscles
Okay.
there's also heart muscles, right? Which are different, or cardiac muscles, I believe.
I think so. I think those are more like a crisscross, rather than just striated, all going one direction. They're more like a netting.
I went down the rabbit hole on these the skeletal muscles because I just couldn't believe how. I mean, who the hell comes up with the idea of, like, let's break our muscles and make them come back bigger?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why?
Is that what makes you tired? That's what I was going to ask you. I'm sorry I didn't
Everything makes me
say
tired.
anything. I just don't want to,
My
like.
age makes
Well,
me
no,
tired.
okay. When you guys work out and you feel tired working out wise, is it because those muscles broke down and they're trying to repair, or is that just the soreness that you feel?
Well, the soreness is lactic acid, isn't it? Doesn't it form lactic?
Is it?
When you start breaking down, when you're not getting enough oxygen, I believe if you're not getting enough oxygen to the muscles, which happens if you really work, I believe if you work them out a lot, then it starts forming lactic acid, which I guess is, I'm not exactly sure why. I think that's it's in the same way that yeast will form ethanol. Our little cells, when they are in I believe it's anaerobic mode, like non-breathing mode, they put out lactic acid, which is what makes the muscles hurt the next day. I believe. Again, this is all.
Where's James Gurney?
Well, I'm sure James will. Yeah, I'm sure James can set me straight on that. It's like bones. When bones break, for the new material created, the heel is stronger, harder than the original bone material. Is it? Because mine wasn't. Mine sure wasn't.
What'd you break?
I broke my, what's it called? My tibia and fibia.
In your leg?
I broke both of them. Yeah. Skiing.
I broke my humerus. That sucked.
Which one is your humerus?
Like between your elbow and your shoulder.
Ooh. Oh man, that would hurt. Yeah, that would hurt. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it was
the real
saucy.
red flaming arrow has the scoop for us. Says yes, lactic
Yay.
acid is formed when there isn't enough oxygen. Hey, I got that right. The acid
Nice.
is acidic, which hurts your muscles in the short term. They hurt the next day because you formed loads of tiny tears in your muscles, causing DOMs. What's a DOM?
It's like a girl who tells you what to do.
No. Delayed onset muscle. Oh, delayed onset muscle soreness.
DOM.
There you go. He actually says it right after.
DOMs.
They say
Okay.
it. Sorry, they. Not. I don't know if it's a he or she.
Okay, I was technically right.
The real flaming arrow. Thank you very much. Who's giggling away there?
It's just me. It's me. It's
What
what
do you-
Gimpy said.
What are you laughing about?
What Gimpy said.
I wondered if anyone had actually noticed. I just plowed on in the hopes that my
Yeah, no, I can tell.
Yeah. Not that kind of Dom, says Catherine, because it's Captain Catherine. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, David. They form pro-tibial layers of calcium. Pro-tib layers of calcium. So there you go. So I've got super strong tibia and fibia, and Gimpy G is much more humorous than he was before.
Correct.
That's why he could do those domination jokes. All right.
Just
we've
like
got-
nothing.
Like nothing. Just because he doesn't even have to think about it. Okay, so the next thing I looked up was, does protein powder work? What do you think? Do you think it works?
Yeah.
You think it does work?
I feel like
I
if
think I know
it
works.
didn't, people are really psychosomatic. I mean, because it appears to give so many good results that people are just using it. I mean, it's so much.
There's an
They use it so
100%
much, but
chance
you know,
it'll
the
work.
improvement is tiny. compared to.
Really?
Judging by this video that I saw, that must be they must be right because it was a doctor involved. They're saying that the percentage of change, it's definitely it's not to say you shouldn't do it, but that as long as you're getting enough protein in your day, you should be fine, right? Like as long as you're eating protein as you would eat protein and you're getting enough of it, that you should be enough. You can over protein and it can help a little bit with the exercise, but it's got to be done in conjunction with the exercise, I believe is what they were saying. I'll show you that video as well. Does protein powder work? It's kind of a neat little, the spoiler is yes, but there's a catch. I like that. All right, let me do this. I'm going to copy this. Copy the URL. I'm going to chuck that into the chat as well. Hey, Vipup, I had a crazy suggestion that I thought you might be interested in. Oh, look at that. Animal Confusion says if you overload protein, it damages the kidneys.
That's what I thought.
Interesting.
I was going to ask that.
Because your kidneys are trying to process more protein than they're supposed to? Protein powder works, but only if it's good stuff. Mark Lapointe is going to sell us some protein powder now. Whoever named the bone is burning in hell for sure, because anytime you hit it, it's anything but funny. Wah ha ha ha.
I get it.
Oh, so Potter Hobbit 13 says the disability I have causes lactic acid to build up in my muscles. Wow, does that mean you're achy all the time? That would suck. And again, that's something that you would think, something genetic. You should be able to. There should be some kind of a cure for that, right? There should be a way of giving yourself the right proteins or enzymes or whatever the hell you need to make that stop. But so I guess is it the condition or the disease is called Ehlers-Danlos? Let's look that up. I'm looking it up right now, Potter Hobbit. Right now.
Always to feel like you have a Charlie horse. That would suck.
Okay, here you go.
I've never had one, but
it's a group.
I hear they're terrible.
They're weird. They're definitely weird. I feel silly with them because you sort of go hopping around acting like an idiot. Okay. The Ehlers-Danlos syndromes, EDS, are a group. Whoops, it changed on me. I've got a very slow connection. What's going on?
That's weird.
Baz, how many streams do you have going?
Not many. Why?
No,
not many.
No reason. Just check. Okay, here we go.
Like I'm doing schoolwork, but
nice cover. Okay, so Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a group of inherited disorders that affect your connective tissues, primarily your skin, joints, and blood vessel walls. Connective tissue is a complex mixture of proteins and other substances that provide strength and elasticity to the underlying structures in your body. People who have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome usually have overly flexible joints, and stretchy, fragile skin.
Stretchy skin.
This can become a problem if you have a wound that requires stitches because the skin isn't strong enough to hold them. Oh, wow. A more severe form of the disorder called vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can cause the walls of your blood vessels, intestines, and uterus to rupture. Because vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome can have serious potential complications in pregnancy. You may want to talk to a genetic counselor before starting a family. Wow. So the symptoms are overly flexible joints, stretchy skin, and fragile skin. Wow.
Did it say anything about lactic acid? That's probably so inconsequential to the whole disease. They don't even mention that part.
Joint pain and dislocations are common. I guess because the connective tissue that holds the joints together is looser, your joints can move far past the range of motion. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the lactic acid.
But I'm just telling you, David, if your uterus bursts or whatever, you better get to the hospital.
That's it. If I have a uterus, I'm going to the hospital because I didn't have one before.
Right. I was going to say that too, but yeah.
But I beat you to it. You thought there's no way he's going to be that silly. I thought Doug Jones had it, but I might be wrong. Oh, really? Doug Jones. Maybe I guess with a mild form of it, you'd be super flexible, but hopefully not have all the problems. I don't know. That's interesting. Doug Jones was the guy. Elastic. Yeah, Doug Jones was the guy who played the creature in Shape of Water, and also many of the creatures in Pan's Labyrinth and stuff. He might have Marfans. Oh, now James is just showing off. Now he's just showing off now. You see that? Oh, there's another disease that no one's heard of.
Oh, yes.
And he was in Hellboy.
Quite similar, but
he was in Hellboy.
Anybody with education would know the difference.
All right. So, right. So the basic thing with this protein shake thing is that, well, let me see if I can bring it up and I can get to the stats stuff, because there was some stats stuff that was kind of interesting. And then Elsa will know not to have too many proteins.
It sounds like she just eats beans.
It sounds like she eats
Is that the only
pizza. I mean, she eats pizza. How great
is
is that?
She eats vegetarian, but make sure she gets her protein the vegetarian way, which is what? Like, I don't get it.
I like to eat beans and
I like chickpeas.
different sort of cheese and egg and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ovo-lacto, is that right?
These are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find this little bit of this video, because there's some interesting stuff in here. There we go. Okay, this is this doctor guy who does these videos. It's kind of interesting. But here that's the protein. Where's the one that I was looking for? So this is the muscle breakdown, right? Yeah. And then I want to just find the stats. Here we go. Is this it? Okay, so this is the average protein, 1.4 grams above the recommended.
Okay.
Kilograms experimental protein, 36 grams a day. Holy crap, that's a lot more. Almost half of the trials using whey protein compared to the control. Let's see where they went, which was carbs. Is that right? So the total calories are the same as the experimental group. What do we got here? 13 weeks, 3 sessions a week. On average, 7 exercises, 4 sets per exercise, 9 reps per set. And let's see what they came up with. And the results, here we go. Well, protein supplementation improved strength, muscle size, and lean body mass. Oh, so it did. Okay. So you're not wasting your money after all. Protein supplementation does lead to some benefits. Okay, all right. But wait, there's a catch. First, there's a point where adding more protein doesn't lead to more benefit. I see. So you can't just chug that stuff and assume that it's gonna make a difference the more you drink. So it sort of plateaus off. There you go. At 1.6 grams of protein per kilo per day. Okay. So there you go. So you got to do a little bit of math to figure out how much you're gonna have, because you don't want to overdo it, because then there's just a waste. And the second thing is, even though protein supplementation did have a benefit, it's not as impressive as you think. This is the part that I was talking about. Okay. So if you didn't use a protein supplement, their 1 rep max. It's 27 kilograms. Okay. Protein supplement. And then there you go. So it's a 2.49 kilogram. We got 9%. Well, 9%'s it's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Right? You know? I mean.
No, I think you would see that. You would feel that difference in your body. I mean.
So basically, the resistance exercise training is a far more potent stimulus for increasing muscle strength than the protein stuff, is the point. So they're saying is, don't go and chug all this protein stuff and then not do the exercise, as much exercise as you need to do.
Oh, duh.
Well, I don't know. I've done that.
Well, okay, my nephew. This is a scared straight part, right?
Really?
I have a different nephew. He got into bodybuilding. He's 26 now.
Yeah.
And he started. I believe he was doing steroids and had his first heart attack at 25.
Yeah. Well, that's
and
our
he's
next.
had a second one. He's only 26, so.
That's the next place I went. I went looking, because I was like, well, wait a second. What about these steroids? Like, if you could take steroids and become like total super buff. Yeah. What do you got, Wolf Pup? Wolf Pup, did you have a heart attack?
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, I thought you had a heart attack because of all the steroids you've been taking.
That guy is buff.
That guy's, yeah, it's true. Vibe Pup is totally buff.
Yep.
Yeah, I found it fascinating. The steroids absolutely bulk you up very, very quickly. You are stronger, quicker, all this stuff. The problem is that the effect on your health is terrible. Like, yes, it leads to heart attacks. It leads to this thing called roid rage. Have you heard of this? Where basically your body you've taken too many of these anabolic steroids, and you can't control your anger, so you get like crazy angry, and so at the same time that you're becoming more manly in all these steroids you're taking, you're becoming less manly in other ways because it also affects, the whole having baby part of you. You know what I'm saying? So there's
I know what you're saying.
I think you do know what I'm saying. Exactly. Like that wastes away, apparently. There's no, so you can look great, but there's not a lot you can do with it.
Does it make your hair go away or come back?
It drops your hair. You lose your hair too.
Well, screw it then.
Yeah. Smartest way to use protein. Yeah, see, I don't even know if this is legit or not. We're on to a new video. But I just thought there was a documentary actually, because apparently in England, it's like they're saying it's well, at least a couple of years ago, it was a huge problem. Like all these people at the gym are like jabbing themselves with needles and doing all these crazy things. And the idea is I want to look really good now. I don't care what happens later, right? According to Doug Jones, he doesn't, and he's just tall and skinny. Ah.
Okay.
He was just made that way. Apparently the real who's saying someone's got to. I'm gonna go pop back. I'm gonna pop back in the chat so I can see what's going on. Let's see. All right, I'm having a look. Okay, the real red flaming arrow, who's been very informative today, says, "Hey David, could you wish me luck on my exam on Thursday? Good luck. Best of luck to you. What's it on? Yeah, what's the exam? How about eating normal meals? That's what you're supposed to do. Eat normal meals. Biology A level. Sweet. Good
Is
luck
that
with
like 100 level or?
No, A levels.
Wait.
That's in England, right? Doesn't England do A levels? It's I never remember what the A levels are, but isn't that necessary?
Accelerated? What is that?
No. It's like you have to take them to get into university and stuff. I think it's like their grade 12 or grade 13 or whatever.
Advanced placement. Did you have those classes, David? Oh wait, no, you didn't.
I didn't. I certainly didn't. But there were definitely sort of they were like we had the gifted. There was a gifted program.
Yeah, that was me.
Right? Just before uni. Yeah, that's right. So you have to get. So these are really important for Real Flaming Arrow because that's what really helps you get into university, right? Those kind of marks are big. So okay, good luck with that. Someone else said something. I saw something else in the chat that I thought I should get to. Someone said, "Can I say hi to someone?" Whoever was saying, "Can I say hi to someone?" should remind me who it was and why they said it and who I'm saying hi to.
Well, they can say hi.
Yeah, whoever I'm supposed to say hi to. Hi. Dangerous Dandy says, Rodney McKay. NFTs are a scam. There you go. That's it. It's got to be true. I don't think they have to be, but it does.
Twitch chat said it, and it has to be.
Who said that?
So the Twitch chat said it.
Oh yeah, it's got to be true.
Yeah,
that's it. If it's in Twitch chat, it's got to be true, right? All right, yeah. Somebody wanted me to say hi, so make sure you just repeat it and someone point it out to me, would you? Because I hate missing that kind of stuff. All right, so I would love to know. Has anyone done any of these kind of like exercise programs where they've been given like what to eat and how many reps to do and all this kind of stuff? I'd be really curious to know if there was like I find there's all these extreme ways of doing things. Like there's all these like crazy fad like ways of doing things. And maybe they work for a little bit or they work immediately or but they're not necessarily the best way to approach it. I would love to know what the tried and true combination of what do you eat and what do you exercise to be at your like optimal health type thing. And I imagine that's going to be different for everyone. But I'd be curious to know like what kind of protein should you be eating. I know when Jason Momoa was training for Conan, I know that people would just bring him chicken without the skin every like couple of hours. And he would just eat masses of chicken or lots of that kind of stuff. Eggs and spinach. Now, I have heard that eggs and spinach is good.
James Gurney, doesn't he just need the light of a yellow sun? And that like totally buffs him up, right?
He's basically you're saying that he's a plant?
No, he's Superman.
Oh, I see. Is that what it was?
A yellow sun, like because his sun
isn't our sun yellow?
Red.
Oh, his sun was red. Oh,
yes.
I see. Is that what it was that did it?
Yeah.
I had a personal trainer and a
diet regime. About mythology.
Well, I never got into Superman. Superman was never my thing. Superman was kind of like I don't know. He just seemed like too He was too sort of
He's too super.
Yeah, he was too. I don't know. He seemed kind of square to me. I preferred. I don't know. I was a big Swamp Thing fan, but that's a whole other thing.
Swamp Thing's awesome.
I love Swamp
Man Thing is awesome too. I don't know if you saw that.
Which one?
Man Thing.
I've seen Man
It's
Thing.
like PCs.
I don't know the story of that though.
Marvel's answer. Yeah,
I like
it's the
that.
same type thing, but it's very impressionistic, as you would say.
Ah, wow. Well, I mean, Swamp Thing gets pretty weird because basically,
yeah,
it's the whole idea, that whole premise that it's man and plant being intertwined, and that he's able to control. I would dream about that. The idea of being able to sort of disappear down a pipe as a vine and reappear somewhere else. I thought that was so cool. James R. Gurney's powered by Kit Kats, caffeine, and stats. There you go. Statistics. Let's keep going. Okay, actor Javier Bote has Marfan. I haven't seen his work since I don't watch horror, and a lot of his work is in horror. There you go. Chicken and Roma in lettuce for weeks. Really? Worked, but only while doing it strictly. Interesting. Okay. So Gopher Fluffernut did the South Beach diet plan, which I did for a while as well. And that's cheap, but I didn't know there were Roma involved. Okay, so chicken and Roma, does he mean Roma tomatoes, do you think? Or do they mean Roma tomatoes in lettuce for weeks?
Romaine lettuce?
I used to do this thing with, what was it? Flaxseed oil. It was a total fad. My ex-wife had me.
Ew.
Yeah, my ex-wife had me on this flaxseed oil diet. Jason's very normal. A childhood friend from the original speaks with him every week. Jason is very normal. That's good to know.
Who said that?
K. McCabe. I mean, Jason does. There's a great line in Notting Hill that the what's her name? The actress. I just don't have a brain today. The female in that movie. I
don't watch those kind of movies, but go ahead.
Normally, neither do I, but Jane and I, Julia Roberts, thank you, Captain Catherine. So Julia Roberts has this wonderful line where she says, they're talking about food or something, and she says, I haven't not been hungry since I was like 16. And it's the idea that these movie stars, their entire life is based on how they look, right? And they have to keep their bodies at this peak of not health, but how well it looks on film, right? The very
aesthetics,
nature,
right?
Yeah, film tends to make you look a little heavier, so people need to be a little underweight to look normal on film. And so you see these poor actresses who are so thin and so sculpted because they spend their entire life not really enjoying food or exercise, but doing it in order to maintain this unreal sort of expectation of what they look like. So yeah, Julia Roberts. Yes, don't bulk anything, says K. McCabe. I have such a soft spot for Notting Hill. I gotta say, you know what, Gimpy G, I'd have to agree with that. I thought Notting Hill was really cute, really cute. I mean,
what's it about?
It's just a romance, but it's like
I hate that.
Yeah, normally I would too, but I think I don't know. Check it.
I'll watch it. Okay, here's a good movie. That one movie where those
I'm not
old
watching
ladies
Oklahoma.
in England. No. It's like Calendar Girls, I think it's called.
Oh yeah,
these really old ladies do nude things on the calendar.
Yeah, except they're probably not that.
So funny.
If you watch it again now, they're probably our age.
Well, yeah, now I'm gonna be like, oh, that's hot. But when I first watched it, I was like,
it was like the Full Monty, right? Wasn't the Full Monty that was the It was the same kind of. It was like a female version of the Full Monty, which was all about like a bunch of guys who did like a striptease or something. Didn't they do like a strip? It was a strip club. I can't remember what it is. It apparently
and they were normal fellas, right?
But they were very normal. Yes. Maddie Holmes says Calendar Girls is very cute. Okay, all right, okay, it's worth checking out. Okay, next up, I think we've talked muscles. I'm still kind of fascinated by the muscle thing because I feel like there's got to be this whole movement called body hacking. Has anyone heard about this?
Heck yeah.
And I just think it's sort of interesting to me that, there's people who they put butter in their coffee and they put special organic butter in their coffee, and that's the fuel that they use for the day. And they have all these crazy systems that they claim have been, scientifically proven to put you at your peak, I don't know whether it's peak health or peak strength or peak peak intelligence. That's the other thing. Is like are there foods or chemicals you could be taking to make yourself smarter? Is, I guess, one of the questions. Eat not for what you want, but for what you need. Step away from every meal before you feel satisfied. Ooh, that sounds like a Ben Franklin thing.
Yeah.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic movie.
That was a great movie. I like that one.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Stock traders love heroin.
Birdcage.
Yeah, good.
Funny.
See Black Rider. That's perfect. Tech Bandits. We'll get steroids and heroin. There's a combo.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to change gears. I might look into the body hacking stuff because I'm curious to know what the science behind some of that stuff is.
What could we use? Like for me and stuff, that'd be interesting.
Actually, that is interesting. Well, you're saying we were talking about that that drug that starts. Is it a gene therapy? That
buddy, I don't know. It's so out of touch out of reach. I hate to even look at it and get my hopes up.
It's like
I know its name.
It's something about creating the proteins that your body is not creating to get your muscles working, right? Isn't it?
That's what I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. James will know. Yes, it is. James says yes, it is, but I'm not sure what that means. Either I'm right or someone else is right. Time for robot legs.
Right.
Yeah, robot legs. That'd be the way to go.
I'm ready.
Yeah. There's some really neat exoskeletons. I'm just not sure they're designed for someone who doesn't like. There's still a certain amount of, like they seem to be designed. I'm guessing a lot of them are military. A lot of them are based on veterans coming back from the war with injuries, and there's a huge sort of military industrial complex around trying to create prosthetics and better prosthetics and stuff for the soldiers when they come back. So a lot of them are based on people who originally had full motion and are now, having replacement limbs and that kind of stuff. There seems to be less, and again, stop me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be less designed for people who aren't moving at all, if that makes sense, who can't support their own weights. I mean, in an ideal world, what would you be looking at? Like some kind of brain controlled thing, right?
Right. That's what I think. Or a complete body transplant. I wouldn't mind going into the body of a gorilla. That'd be fun.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Or prisoners who have like a life term.
Now we're sounding like a sci-fi movie.
Well, yeah, but I'm ready.
Did you ever read? That's a book you should read. Did you ever read Old Man's War?
No, Old Man's War.
Oh, dude, read that. It's
I
pretty
love
crazy.
sci-fi.
It basically, the idea is this guy gets really old and he's about to retire. I mean, he's basically being put out to pasture. And then they have the military has this offer and they say like, well, okay, so your brain's working, a lot, you're experienced.
Yeah.
What if we extend your life by another lifetime, but you have to do service for us? So you become a military guy for us, and we put your consciousness in the body of this genetically engineered killing machine, basically. And
fantastic.
Oh, it's awesome. Like it is real. It's very, very cool. I think
Can
you'd
you
like
play
that.
NFL football on the off season of
You could do
regular killing?
Well, you're in space. I think there's a big war going on. There's always a price to pay, right? Old Man's War.
I'd do it. It'd be so fun. Just taking a shower would be amazing.
Well, and that's the sort of thing that he talks about. Like he'll be like, because he's got old, right? He's an old guy, and then all of a sudden he's like a young guy, and he's like, I'm like, what do I do here? You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. Okay, Old Man's War.
Scratching my arm would be awesome too. Like, just I get an itch, and all of a sudden, boom, I scratch that sucker.
John Scalzi. Yes, he was a fantastic writer. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for us, so everyone's got it. That's something else at some point we should do as a book club.
Ooh, and actually read?
That'd
be neat.
I guess I'd have to.
With the kids, and the kids could read?
Neuralink is looking at... No, you guys don't read, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you? What do you read, Vipup?
Cereal box. Instructions.
Like, if you were to sit down and read something, Vipup, what would you read?
I would I know. I've been actually reading the Gears of War books.
Oh, really? I didn't even know they had a book series.
Cool.
Baz read a whole bunch of the old the lore of the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. There's some pretty creepy books he was reading.
I have those books. Also.
They were not that bad. They were like
No, I said they were creepy. They were good. I read a little bit of them. Yeah, I kind of like them. That's interesting. Well, look, that's so funny because I got into reading because of Doctor Who. I watched a TV show and then I found that there were Doctor Who books, so I started reading those. I mean, reading is reading. Who gives a crap what it is, as long as you enjoy reading it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Dad, you should really read Berserk. You'd really like it.
Oh yeah, Baz got this crazy.
They say it's fantastic.
He's got this crazy manga. Is it manga or is it just a?
Yeah, that's manga.
That's the giant.
Do you have it in giant? Yeah, giant.
Yeah, I got the collector's edition book.
Yeah,
all right,
nice.
All right, fine. I'll read that. The problem with books is that when I fall asleep, they hit me in the face.
True.
And this one you don't want to be hitting it.
No, I get in the face.
No,
by
you'll
that.
get damaged.
I'm never waking up again if I get hit by that. Okay. All right. Okay. There was a couple other things that came up. I am sorry. I'm really feeling a bit off today. I don't know what it does to you. This.
I too. Haven't you already had one of these?
Yeah, I'm on number 2. Yeah, so you have to take 2 of them, and because everything's free here, it cost me $190 ago.
Which is exactly what I think of as free.
$190 per shot. Because for
some
reason,
that's probably like nowhere nearly as bad as American healthcare, to be honest, which is sad.
No,
absolutely.
It's not.
But my concern is just this. So in other words, the only people who can afford a shingles vaccine are the people who can afford it. So we are so worried here about people having a 2-tier system, but the reality is there already is a 2-tier system because.
Wait. Do you mean the only people that can get a shingles vaccine are the people that can afford it?
Yes.
Because the only people that can afford a shingles vaccine are the people that can afford it. So
yes. So that redundancy department.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
So
I mean, I don't even know how effective it is as a treatment, but I've just.
Was that Boys of Brazil? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Which was Boys of Brazil? Was that the one with?
It's like a Terry Gilliam.
Oh, Brazil. No, that was Brazil. Boys of Brazil is a different one.
Oh, Brazil.
But Brazil. Oh my God, I loved Brazil.
I love it.
Anyways, I guess
why are you so afraid of shingles? Or what is the...
Shingles
is it bad?
Shingles can do some crazy... You can literally lose your sight, your hearing. It's incredibly uncomfortable. It's a nerve-based damage, so it's just incredibly uncomfortable. My father had it. My sisters had it. And so I don't...
Your mom had it as well, right?
Did Mom have it?
No. Wasn't she the one that
My mom had it.
I don't think so.
And then my dad never had it until he got cancer and went on chemo. And tell me if I'm wrong. Chicken pox is a precursor, correct?
Yes. I didn't know this, but apparently chicken pox never leaves you. It stays with you like an old friend all of your life.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so if you've had chicken pox, you can get shingles. But generally, if you've had chicken pox, you're not going to catch shingles, if that makes sense. Right?
It doesn't.
So if you've never had chicken pox, you can catch shingles. But if you've had chicken pox, yeah, if you've had chicken pox, I don't believe you can catch shingles. But that's that.
I have had shingles.
What?
Yeah.
Aww.
You've had
I think
shingles?
it was like 5.
When you really? Oh,
Yeah.
so then you went straight from nothing to shingles instead of chicken pox.
Yeah, I didn't get chicken pox.
Of course. So
And
there
I
you go.
got
Elsa's the
shingles
perfect
in
example.
my face.
Was it awful?
I don't remember a lot of it, but it was like in my face. So I've got like a scar on my nose.
Aww.
Really? Well, you're lucky you
Yeah.
didn't, because apparently you can go blind and things with it. Like it can literally destroy your eyes and things. Your parents must be freaking out.
Yeah.
Who gave it to you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We should hunt them down.
Genius, Dad.
There's a chicken pox vaccine. Yes. Although, here's a story.
I had chicken pox and I got the fact.
You had chicken pox. You had a chicken pox vaccine.
Did I?
I was gonna say you did surprisingly.
And then he got chicken pox.
What the hell?
He was one of those rare
genius.
souls.
Let's now preach that vaccines don't work on internet.
No, that's not what I'm saying. This is the thing about. But this is the thing that people say.
Sorry.
but it's funny though. You've raised a really good point there. People go, oh, wait a second. People with the vaccination are still getting COVID. People will still get vaccines aren't 100% effective. None of them are. None of them are. There's still a certain amount of the population who's going to get it. And, what there has been proven is that it's less effective. So so in other words, the disease is not as bad if you've had the vaccination. But that does not mean you can't get it. It does not mean you can't die of it. None of these vaccines are 100%, but that doesn't mean don't take it. Anyways, not that bad.
Well, you're waiting for
chicken pox in LA, right? 100%. I seem to remember that.
You got vaccinated for chicken pox in England.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember going to the doctor and then them being like, "Have you had chicken pox?" We were like, "Wait a second, you're allowed to." We'd never heard of chicken pox vaccines in Canada at that point. And then, or we were in the States at the time, I guess. So of course we wouldn't have. And then
Baz was a world traveler.
Yeah, so he got a vaccine in England.
I have 3 citizenships.
He's got 3 passports. Yeah,
3 passports. Sorry,
it's true. He's like the Bourne Identity. He's just got to get on that protein powder and bulk up.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when in LA, he was at school and he had like this tiny little rash. And we were like, oh, I guess he's been bitten by something. And then we sent him off to school. And they were like, oh, my God, you sent him to school with chicken pox. And I was like, oh, sorry. So they all had British chicken pox. I didn't know that you could still...
Really?
Again, because I didn't know you could still get it. I didn't realize that just because you'd been vaccinated...
Wait, I gave the class British chicken pox?
No.
Oh, that would be funny. That's like a pandemic into itself.
It's possible you might have. They all start talking with British accents. They'd all talk about chicken pox.
Yeah.
This is how old David and I are.
Yeah.
Parents back then used to have chicken pox parties if their kid had chicken pox. Yeah. They on purpose got them together and allowed them to share suckers so that they would get chicken pox and get it over with because they thought the older you were.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was no treatment.
That is weird.
Yeah. So I just got it, and the big thing was do not scratch, because if you scratch, you will scar. And that was it. I
won.
I have a few. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't even imagine that. So you'd have the chicken pox, you can't move.
It was awful.
Oh,
I had them in my ears and up my nose.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh, I'd never even thought of that.
That is so horrible.
It was.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. I'd never even occurred to me that would be the...
Yeah, I didn't think of that until...
Yeah, but I don't have scars. Well, those. I've got big long ones, but
Oh, look at that. James Gurney brought chickenpox to the island that he lived on from Zimbabwe. Isn't that nice?
And killed all the inhabitants.
No one lives there anymore.
James.
Yeah. Kay McCabe says they've got a scar that they really like too. Yeah, chickenpox was chickenpox it was horrible. I didn't like chickenpox, but I can't imagine that now. I feel like I got off scot-free. Baz got off crazy easy. Pox.
Yeah.
I say
my mom put me in baths, sitz baths.
Oh yeah, sitz baths. Yeah.
And then she would put calamine lotion, this pink looking stuff all over me.
That's what we used to put calamine lotion. Yeah, and it would get all crusty and come off and look really gross. It looked like you had some kind of crazy zombie disease.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so funny that we both thought zombie. Yeah, it was. All right. Oh, but yeah, that's right. So Nightbot just said there's new the Techbandits merch. I fixed it all. I got it all working again.
No.
So there's now Techbandits merch, and I reduced all of the prices so everything is at cost plus $2. Because I thought then anytime you buy something, you just know that $2 is going to Techbandits. That's it. Because I thought anything else, it just gets too expensive, and I figured $2.
Yeah, it was crazy prices.
They were and I didn't really realize there was a little slider where you could change it. I mean, I could just do it for cost, but I thought, well, that's just, I don't know, it just seems like I don't want to.
No, you need
no, but you still need to.
Oh, Catherine says they thought they were not that expensive before. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna go crank the prices all back up again then.
Yeah.
I just
crank them up a little bit.
I felt like I felt like $2 per item. That seemed fair to me. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
What is it? It's not, I mean, some of them cost more than others, and then there were like sweatshirts that even without a markup are still like $30 or something. I'm like, I don't want to
Okay.
It seemed kind of crazy. I'm too nice.
What if it was a percentile instead of the $20?
I guess you could.
So
do
if they buy a
percentage.
more expensive item, they're actually donating more. Think about it. I don't know. I just think of it's for a good cause, and you're not taking the money personally. So
Well, I've changed all. So there you go. So you better get in there now before you know.
Oh, what if this is all a ruse?
Yeah.
Aha! You all fell for it.
Quick, get in there.
Okay.
Just kidding. There is no such thing as too nice. There isn't? Oh, there is. David put so much effort in making the shirts, and he's only asking $2. Nice, Mark Lapointe. That's it. I'll do like
Wait,
those.
they're
I'll
only
do.
$2?
No. It's the price plus $2, if that makes sense. So it's what it costs me to make them, plus $2. So I just added $2 to every price, so that I know that everything that gets ordered, I get $2 towards Techbandits. That's the hope.
Did you have to buy a stock, or are they made to order?
No, and that's probably why they're so expensive, right? It's the Streamlabs thing, which I know I should hate, but I kind of love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just kind of love it. It's got so many cool new features and stuff. Although today I couldn't figure out. I tried to go live and it was not. It says, "Oh, can't wait for you to go live." I'm like, I am live, so I didn't know what was going on there. Okay, a couple more things I want to talk about. Some geeky things that came up in my travels. Let me find the next one. It's this. Okay. This is almost too good to be true. This is PacMum suggested this, and it's these bacteria that eat plastic. Because the idea is like we've got all these microplastics. We were talking to Medusa, Candy Medusa,
Yeah.
Candy Medusa about this, and there's all these microplastics everywhere. We're sucking them back in our water. They're in our food. They're everywhere. So how do we get rid of these things? Because we don't even know how bad they are for us, right?
Right.
I had a bunch of things that I looked up that were I'll put them out in the show notes, but they really don't know how bad they're for us, and they think they could be really bad for us, right? They could cause cancer. They could cause, sort of brain damage, all sorts of stuff. There's a ton of stuff that they can relate to. So how do we get rid of them? And people are like, okay, one of my favorite projects that Baz ever did in school was about nanobots that cured cancer. And I thought, oh my God, that is the coolest thing ever. And then I discovered synthetic biology, which is basically doing or trying to do exactly that. But it
makes way more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is instead of like just irradiating large areas of the body, or instead of trying to burn these plastics or reduce them in other ways, how great would it be if there was an organism that you could genetically design or what they call select for it? So basically,
right,
you get a choice of all the different. You have like one bacteria, and you choose the bacteria that are really good at doing the eating. Sorry, do you need to get in here, Elsa?
It's fine. I just didn't know.
Oh, is that? Okay,
told
right.
you what happened.
I think it's the background of Gimpy G.
It's Gimpy
Is
G's
it me
background.
again?
Gimpy G's
Everybody in
background
my
is like
background.
it's like a mystery. I feel like it's like Rear Window. We're gonna discover there's actually a murder going on, or they're actually running like some kind of like.
Or what if I'm being murdered?
Drug
Go ahead.
cartel.
Well, you're being murdered. That's true. There you go.
Yes.
It's don't start them on the drug dealing. No, that's a whole other story.
It's a whole different story.
Oh yeah, we'll get that later. Okay, so it's this. It's basically they've designed these bacteria that will eat plastic pollution, and I'm going to give you a link to this. There's a video that's actually got a really good sort of. It's a little old now, but it's a really good sort of introduction to the problem and how they're trying to fix it. I'll put that in here, and then I will try to show it to you because I think it's just kind of neat that they discovered, they're like, I can't remember where it was like Japan or somewhere, and they walked into this plastic recycling plant, right? And there in the black sludge at the bottom of one of these plastic containers, they found a hole. And they're like, why is there a hole in this plastic container with this black sludge? And they discovered that this bacteria had been starved of anything to eat. It's like, I'm so hungry, I could eat a plastic container. Well, it ate the plastic container.
Oh my.
So what we're doing now is creating these bacteria, finding the best ones for eating this stuff, taking away all of the glucose and stuff that they would normally be eating, and say, oh, are you hungry? What about this nice looking Pepsi bottle? and then
do they still create a byproduct of some sort? They have to, right?
I'm assuming they do, because all they're really doing is snipping. I guess they're snipping the chemical bonds that tie these plastics together. But the advantage of it is that you can basically have it working on you could just have a giant vat with all these plastics in it, and you throw this bacteria in it, and the bacteria just goes like woohoo, and it's not just that it's eating it faster than it would normally break down. Like some of these plastics will last hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. So if you can apply a bacteria to it that's actually going to eat it, it's freaking awesome. So, and then I found the coolest thing ever. They have
even cooler.
Oh yeah, they have mushrooms that will eat the plastic. But then get this, it's the mycelium, which is what the mushrooms are like the fruit of mycelium.
Like the roots.
Yeah,
kinda,
it's
right?
like the mycelium's like the tree, and then the mushrooms are like the fruit. This mycelium will eat the plastics and then form mushrooms that we can do what with?
Form into Play-Doh?
Well, actually, you're kind of right. First off, some of them can be eaten.
No.
Yeah, so you feed mushrooms plastic. You feed the mycelium, the beginning of mushrooms, plastic. It eats it all up, and then it fruits into mushrooms that you could then eat for dinner.
No.
Doesn't that seem like perfect? Like
that's insanity.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they're doing is they're creating these massive, large-scale production of this mycelium stuff. They feed it its plastic. They do exactly what you're saying in a way. It's not so much Play-Doh, though. It's growing into giant squares of insulating building material.
Oh, because I've seen mycelium, it grows through a medium, and it really looks like that.
I should do it. I have some here, some of the mycelium where you let it grow into the shape that you want it to grow into, and then you dry it, and it becomes this it's like this incredibly strong styrofoam. Because think about all those little tiny filaments, all those little tiny threads that can move our muscles, right? If they're able to move our muscles, imagine how strong they are when you tie them all together, like in mycelium, these little thin these little hair-like threads. So it's just, I was like, oh my God, I don't understand why we aren't throwing all of our money into that. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that just...
I think mushrooms are alien to Earth.
Well, did you know that they're not even...
I feel like
they're closer to animals than they are to plants? Did you know that?
I had read something like that.
Yeah. They're...
very odd.
And in fact, I don't believe they were... I think the reason we have oil is because they didn't exist, right?
Oh.
Like the trees, all those massive ancient trees died and nothing broke them down, so they turned into oil. And it wasn't until the mushrooms learned how to eat that material that so that's why we have these huge oil deposits, and then we don't have them again because these
now I got to study.
Mycelium is now eating this stuff.
How old are mushrooms on the scale of things? Like, okay, Earth's 4 billion years old.
Older than us.
Well, right, definitely older
I don't
than
know.
Humans.
Let's look it up. I'm looking it up right now. Oh, don't knock over your drink, David. Oh my God.
Oh God, it was so close.
I do it every time.
Ooh.
Okay, how old are mushrooms? But they're not called mushrooms, are they? They're called, how old is mycelium?
Fungi?
That's good. Fungi, let's go with that. Fungies. Which I never spelled.
Fungi.
Do I mean how old is fungi? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Fungi have ancient origins, with evidence indicating they likely first appeared about 1 billion years ago. But that's only one. So that's only 1 billion years, and apparently their fossil record is kind of scant.
Sketchy. Well, wait. As far as I knew, life, any kind of multicellular animals were only like 600 million years old. So they predate.
Do they?
Everything
Are they older than that?
But
wait a second. But I guess they just weren't eating trees at that point then.
I've got to see this. Now I got to see.
Yeah, we have to look into that. Wait a sec. Fungus-like life forms have been found in rocks dating back 2.4 billion years. That's 2017.
Holy.
Oh, that's wild.
Well, now, can we look up real quick how old are plants?
Okay, let's do that. Let's do it. How old are plants?
Sorry, kids.
Or trees. How old
Trees.
are, well, plants. No, it makes more sense. How old are plants? 700 million years ago. Okay.
The fungi are older.
So fungi are older. I thought they came around later, but I guess the issue was they just weren't eating those dead trees until later.
Wow.
Let me look that up because that is, I remember, okay, it was like, oil, and fungus. How's that? Let's see what that says.
I like it.
Nope. Because what
Where's
happens
word
when you type that in? That's what happens. You get all this like, oh, essential oils for toe fungus. Is not what I was looking for. All right. Did fungi stop oil from creating? From what?
Okay.
From farming?
Gotcha.
How about that?
Or fossil fuels.
Oh, fossil fuel. Fossil fuel, probably better. Good idea. Fossil fuel. Okay, here we go. An international team of scientists proposes that the evolution of fungi capable of breaking down the polymer lignin, Lignin, in plants may have played a key role in ending the development of coal deposits. Coal deposits. Coal, not oil. Okay, all right. Delayed fungal evolution did not cause what? I don't know.
So they're saying the fungus was there, but it didn't evolve into.
But it wasn't eating. It wasn't eating that part of the. It wasn't eating the whatever it's called. The what do we call it? The ligum, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe someone in chat's got some insights into this. Called it, except fungi versus bacteria. Yesterday it was 5 cents cheaper. What is this? Oh, are we talking about oil prices? Oh my God, or the prices of toe fungi oil. If you could log yourself doing mycelium. You mean like the magic mushroom stuff? Yeah, they've got all sorts of talk about using it for mental health, don't they? But I think it's something that. Hey, Geezer Geek, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not sure that I don't think I need my head full of chemicals. Okay, so anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. And talking about sort of bacteria breaking down plastics and stuff, and plastics in the ocean, I found this article about this crazy. It seems so simple, and I'm curious to know what people think, like whether they think this is a good idea or a bad idea or what. But so Japan, who obviously needs a lot of electricity, right? Like they got that is, that's how else are they going to make all that manga and all the anime?
Did you know they have 2 different electrical systems in Japan?
Oh, really?
Like they had the one that existed in Japan, and then they have one that when the Allies took over part of Japan. So half of them run like DC and half run AC.
Oh, really? They had a DC system? I didn't know that.
Something like that.
I'd say a DC system makes so much sense to me. I think we should all just have giant battery packs on the side of our house so that we can, so there's not these giant surges. But this thing that you're looking at right now on screen is a deep ocean turbine. So this sucker, this sucker gets dropped into the deep, deep ocean. And because the currents are so crazy strong, they can create, how much do they say? Aims to generate power. Where is it? Let's see how much it can create. Okay. Ocean Energy Systems, an intergovernmental collaboration established by the International Energy Agency, sees the potential to deploy more than 300 gigawatts of ocean energy globally by 2050. So what? So I mean, that is some serious electricity, right?
It at least can move a car through time. Because you only need 1.21 gigawatts for that.
But here's the thing that I started worrying about. If it is a generator, that means the water is flowing through it, is it not?
Maybe. It's at least moving a turbine of some sort.
Right. Does that not mean is it not going to potentially cause some trouble, like environmentally? Is it not going to make, what about all the fish and stuff? Because we're already overfishing. Are we going to start sucking fish into this generator and causing huge problems? Because that is a big system. I mean, that's freaking huge.
Okay, I'd really like to see what it's doing. Like, I could see like almost like a bobber that's in place.
Let's see if we can.
And then as the tides come in, it's being pulled up, and the tides go out. It goes back down, and that generates.
Here's the PDF on it.
Okay, let me see.
Let me see if I can. I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in. Zooming again. Zooming more. Here we go. Going over this way, and now I'm going to move this so I can actually see what's going on. Does this help? All right, if we do this. Okay. Conceptual. Okay, so there you go. So ocean current, you anchor it to the ground. There's a power transmission cable, a submerged cable. This looks like an awful lot of infrastructure. Okay. A lot of infrastructure. So that thing is floating in the ocean. What happens like when a whale comes along or something? Like what? How do we have to worry about this stuff?
I have a feeling these are huge.
That's what I'm saying. Is they're massive. Isn't that going to cause issues unto itself? Plus, you've got to lay all this submerged cable, don't you? But I love the idea of it because
a lot of upfront cost, yeah.
No, but I mean not just the cost, but environmental cost too, right? I mean, if you're laying submerged cable and stuff, you're digging up the ocean floor. That's going to be home for God knows what, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not to be that guy.
Yeah, we've had cables across the Atlantics for like 100 years now, right?
Yeah, I know, but we suck.
Well, yeah.
So there you go. So it's approximately 20 meters long by 20 meters wide.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, I mean, a whale's not going to run into that.
Oh, are those the turbines?
It's not a net.
Oh, those are the turbines there on the end. I see. If you see that, see the little pointy things there? So they're a giant.
Oh.
Wow. I guess they don't have to go that fast, though, do they?
No.
So potentially that could be, and as long as the blades are blunt enough that they're, the fish will just swim around them. I mean, look, it's better than them having, nuclear meltdowns, and those kind of issues.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So I guess what I'm looking at, I'm guessing that I'm not seeing the turbines on these. Are you? I don't see the turbine on these.
Yeah. No, there's little propellers at the left-hand side.
Which I don't see on this picture, but
they're white.
Oh, sorry. No, you're behind me on this. The stream's a little behind. Yeah. So I see the turbine blades. Those are huge. But again, that's basically limitless power, right? As long as there's an ocean current, and there is, those suckers are going to be turning, and you're going to be generating huge amounts of electricity. So I love the idea of it. I'm just a little concerned, as always. I think Baz said this to me the other day, where he's like, you want you want all this new technology. Like, it's all exciting new technology, but now we're realizing that we don't always think things through, right? We don't.
Know what that's called?
What's it called?
Externalities.
There you go. Externalities, meaning that there are repercussions to everything we do. What is that? Is that what's the?
Right. If we make this really cool, I don't know, plant that makes nuclear energy that you never thought, oh crap, what are we going to have to do with the expended rods
and what are you going to do with some jerk who decides to plant it in places it shouldn't be or use it for evil purposes, like
a lot of companies they make their money based off of ignore the externalities, like where we dump our waste and things,
right?
And then let the government and the social society either pick that up as they really have to pick it up or bear the cost as sicknesses or illnesses.
Well, and that's my frustration. I've got to say, that's my frustration with the whole plastic thing, is that we've been sold a bill of goods where basically the plastics companies are saying, guys, our planet's in trouble. We need to recycle. And it's like, no, you don't. You need to recycle. You're the one who's been making all the money off these plastic products.
Right.
Why is it our fault? I mean, like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't. We're happy to help, obviously, because you can see all these recycling programs. But the reality is they have sort of foisted this stuff over on the consumer and said, well, you guys use a lot of plastic bottles. It's like, well, you make a lot of plastic bottles. I mean, I know it sounds a bit bratty.
And have known what's these externalities and, said, ooh, cover that up, get rid of that.
Well, that's
those things.
That's exactly the problem, isn't it? I mean, like, I think more and more we're getting into a situation where we're realizing these companies have just been hiding this stuff from us. I mean, because of course it's not good for business. Let me see if I can.
Right, it might cost them, and that affects the bottom line, and it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking, to be honest. I mean, I had never considered that until I saw it was the this evening tonight or whatever it's called. What is it called? Last Night Today or something? What's that show called? With the British guy?
Oh, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Yeah, John Oliver did an incredible. I think we showed it to you the last time we talked about this. I think with Candy Medusa. Hello, Candy. See, we're still talking about plastics. You know, he had an amazing one on plastics, which really opened my eyes. I mean, as did, to be honest, as did Candy's stuff as well. But here we go. Let me see if I've got this one. Is this the one? Plastics.
You know, like mass farming, right? Like we have a lot of that around here. Factory, pigs, where
Right.
you're just putting so much.
It's like
waste.
industrialized agriculture stuff.
Correct. That's having, look, we're saving so much money by not duplicating efforts, but they're actually just putting that off for somebody else to pay that price.
There was a movie called Kiss the Ground, which Woody Harrelson did. I don't think he did it. He was like the voiceover on it, but obviously took an interest in it. And it was all about the idea that our farming techniques, these big industrial farming approaches, have done exactly what you're saying. They cause a huge, huge environmental impact. So we've got to figure out better ways of creating food, especially now. I mean, food has got, we went and bought fish the other day. We went and bought salmon, which I haven't bought from a fishmonger's in a long time. And it's a good 30% more expensive now, I would say, than it was like even just a couple of weeks ago. Like food is getting more and more expensive. And part of that's because that salmon has to be fished on one of our coasts. And then
Actually, this is just a topic that slightly comes towards this. If prices keep inflating so much, won't we have to make stuff cheaper?
Yeah. But the concern is, how do you make stuff cheaper and then not destroy the planet
Well,
at the same time?
there's two different ways. It's like either you, where's inflation, where either you like start printing more money to catch up with like how much. So basically, like,
oh great, let's just do that.
If everything is going up in price, basically, the government will have to decide if they want to start printing more money, which would cause inflation, which would then make the price. So let's say, let's take Canada, for example. Let's say like $1 Canadian is currently worth like, $1 Canadian is $1, right?
Okay,
Okay.
And
let's
then,
just say that it's on par with the American dollar type thing.
yeah.
Okay.
And they both equal $1. If Canadian prices start shooting up, we'll have to start printing more money, which would then make the price of Canadian dollars less than $1. Because if there's more of it, why should it be still as valuable as other things?
So you dilute its value.
Yeah, pretty much. So then, things are more affordable now, because if it's like 1,000 Canadian dollars and we have more money, it's going to be more affordable. But it will then cause them to shoot up their prices. So, like, how do you think Vietnamese dong or something like that is like 0.001 cent? Is like one Vietnamese dong in Canadian?
Is because the inflation is.
It's because of inflation. They've tried to raise their prices, so now it's like 100,000 Vietnamese dong is $1 Canadian, stuff like that.
Somebody has been listening. I think someone's been listening in business class. I could be wrong.
I think so. Good job.
That's interesting.
Just real quick, the oil prices aren't actually keeping up with what they're charging us, though. For instance, they've made 3 times the profit this year that they did last year. Profit, not 3 times sales, 3 times the profit. So what they're doing is, our costs are up 10%. Now we're going to increase those costs 30%, and then hand that off to you. So they're actually price gouging, and then hiding under the look, inflation's hitting everybody. So it's kind of
it's like when the price of what was that?
I don't know, but
it was when the price of oil went up. All of a sudden, gasoline prices shot up the same day, and you're like, "Wait a second, you've got oil from 2 weeks ago."
Right. But it hasn't shot up an amount that's commensurate with what we're being charged, if you get what I'm saying. Like, oil companies are getting it, say, for $5 a gallon, and then rather than sell it for $5.50, now they're selling it for $7 or whatever. They're overcharging and blaming inflation.
The problem, of course, is we can't just drop oil. Much as I'd love to just stop using fossil fuels, we sort of have to wean ourselves off them.
Right. Can't drop it, but there are, in Canada and America, there are price gouging laws that can take into effect if you call things an emergency. For instance, say the Ukraine war and these other things. And then and it's illegal to price gouge during an emergency. You know, like if there's
Amazon
a storm coming.
Amazon got in trouble for that, and they said so. Like, for example, like during the pandemic, all of a sudden their masks went from 50 cents a pop to $5 a pop, and so of course people went, wait a second, this is like profiteering during a pandemic, and they said, no, it's not us, it's just the algorithms.
Yeah, no.
And so their response was, well, no, our AI is the one who sets the prices. We don't set the prices. We're setting the prices based on what people are willing to pay. So there's nothing wrong with that. But of course,
they're so evil.
Isn't it wild? At the same time, though, don't you love getting things delivered the next day? That's the problem, is that I want the convenience. Yeah. I want that convenience. It drives me crazy when I don't have the convenience. Same thing happened with Uber, right? So Uber was very cheap. I thought it was amazing. I was like, we don't need a car. We just take Uber. Well, except that Uber was artificially making the prices low, right? They were basically taking a loss on all of those things. Then when everyone's hooked on Uber, bang, prices go up to crazy high again because they've got all these other costs, right? So,
right, and they're not paying for the maintenance of the vehicles,
right?
The driver.
Oh yeah, no, it's
kind
of genius. It's kind of genius.
Except that it's so evil that I have a hard time calling it genius. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, but the idea of sharing, the idea of being able to, the idea that anyone can earn money as a taxi driver, basically. For someone like an actor, it was amazing. Because
I love that idea.
Yeah, the only jobs you could get when I was starting out in Hollywood, if you were broke, you would have to do people would work at restaurants. But of course, there were no jobs at restaurants because there's an entire economic system of people coming up illegally from Mexico and doing the jobs that nobody in America wanted to do, right? They are in order to survive, they were taking these crappy jobs. But as a result,
Mom sent her love.
Oh, love back.
She's heading out.
Oh, where's she going? Oh, she got her meeting or something, right?
Yeah, she's got her coffees and stuff. She'll be back at 9.
Oh, very good. Good. All right. Well, love. Give her a love from me. Yeah. So basically, those jobs weren't available for an untrained idiot like me. I ended up doing a lot of web design stuff. That was how I made money. But damn it, what was the point? What was the point of this?
Were there taxi medallions in LA?
I believe there were. Thing? No one ever took a taxi in LA. Almost never. Almost never took cat. And the only time I did, it was like driving in a tank. Like it was like there were double plastic shields, and there was no room to sit. And
gotcha.
It was miserable. And then when Uber started, it was just a breath of fresh air. There's just people who really, all these sort of movers and shakers, all these kids who wanted to make it in the business, and this is how they were making money in their spare time. Everyone had a car in LA anyways because they had to get around.
Right.
That's why I think it's such a great idea. Again, it has become something far more, constantly undercutting the prices and stuff. It obviously is going to make things difficult. But I think eventually Uber doesn't want people. In the same way that Amazon doesn't want people, right? None of these companies want people working for them. They want them all to be robots, right? Their
good luck with that. That's not looking good.
Yeah, their ultimate goal, though, is to have it all done by automation, right? So,
have you seen that every year since 2015? You can see Elon Musk saying this year we'll have autonomous driving. There's a little cut together.
He says that every year.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Every year for the last 6 or 7 years.
Ridiculous.
He said that.
Oh, Ash. Ash sent me an email a little while about this. I haven't had a chance to get back to you. Sorry, Ash. But Ash is telling everyone to stop using fossil fuels because the European car manufacturers announcing the first solar-powered car to enter mass production later this week. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I don't think it's going to work here I don't think we get enough sunshine, but I
You have such a huge territories to cover too.
yeah, but that said, it makes absolute sense. And I mean, I don't know much about the actual technology she's talking about, or they are talking about. Ash could be anything, couldn't it? But Ash, you did not want to let us know. In your email, you didn't want to let me know what the company was, right? There was some kind of, I guess, there's some secrecy around what the company is or whatever. I don't know what the company is, but anyway. But yeah, I'm fascinated to see how that's going to work. I think that sounds amazing. Yeah, Musk claims that autonomous driving will be a thing in 6 months. Yeah, they've been saying that forever. Oh no! Oh, so Ash can't tell us the manufacturer. So who is it, Ash? Who's the? Can we look this up? Is there a way? Can we pull up a link or something? The Google Lightyear car? Like that's cool.
Wait.
Should we look that up?
Google's making a car?
I've been working on a car for a while. I remember seeing videos in like grade 4 of like
really
most epic technology coming out in the next 10 years or something like that. Like
Lightyear 1, is that it? Is this have I got the right one? Let me see if I pull this up for you if I've got the right one or not. Is this it?
Okay.
Nope, that's
manufacturer is
Lightyear.
Lightyear.
This week tonight. All right. Let me copy this, post it into the right paste. Let's do this.
That's true.
Is this
Z
it?
Black Rider. Go ahead.
Is this it? Oh my God, it looks like Knight Rider. What do you think? Can we see it? Do you guys see it?
I have you paused so I can't hear myself twice.
Ready to witness history in the making.
Dun, dun, dun.
Am I?
One day for a solar car, I feel like that is too small of a time.
Well, they're saying that it's ready to go. It's going to move into, here you go. Okay, so Lightyear 1 is a long-range solar electric vehicle designed to be grid independent and to drive anywhere. Its unique vehicle architecture and technology have been developed with high efficiency in mind, allowing Lightyear 1 to consume only 83, watts per hour per kilometer? Is that how it works? Watt hour per kilometer? 83 watt hour per kilometer.
It's got to be kilowatts, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
83.
I don't think a car would be able to do just basic watts per hour.
83 watt hours per kilometer? That sounds right. Doesn't that sound
right?
Is that
true?
2 to 3 times less energy than any other vehicle on the market today. The results is an exceptional range of 725 kilometers. I don't know what WLTP means. With the lowest emissions and lowest charging frequency and 7,000 to 20,000 kilometers of free, effortless, and clean solar range every year. Well, they've got to think about the technology. Let's look at this. Ooh, oh, look at this.
Now, kilometers are baby miles, right?
Yeah, they're like pretend miles. They're like when we grow up.
I think 1 kilometer is like. I think it's like 1.3 kilometers is 1 mile. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I think you're right.
Okay, so optimized thermal system for high efficient electric vehicles. 4 in-wheel motors. 4 in.
Right, rather than a transmission going from a central motor, you got
it. Highest specific energy battery pack. Okay, lightweight body and chassis. Most aerodynamic production car vehicle design. Most efficient inverters. Okay, most efficient automotive solar panels. They're the most efficient because no one else has any. But that is neat. Okay, I mean that when I am in California, it doesn't make any sense to me why every electric vehicle doesn't have a ton of freaking solar panels glued to their top. It doesn't make any sense. It just trickle charge the vehicle, right? You could add tons. Well, this is great. I'm really looking forward to this. I should look for Ash. Thank you for pointing this out to us. This is fascinating. I know it's probably an ad, but at the same time, it's.
How much will the car be when it comes out?
Do we know, Ash? Can you tell us how much it costs? That would be good to know.
Probably something obscene.
You think so?
Oh, Batwin said a Tesla car is 150 watt hours per kilometer. So we're looking at just right over half.
Really?
So that's pretty good.
Yep. So Ash says that's it. Ash, do we know what it's going to cost? It might work in California. I'd love to know if it would work that.
$5 trillion.
But it's mass produced. If it's being mass produced, it shouldn't be that crazy expensive.
$2 trillion.
It announces a $34,000 solar electric vehicle. That's good.
Wow.
I mean, it still pisses me off that electric vehicles are always more expensive than other ones. But that's not their fault. That's just because there's not enough.
Well,
not
gas
enough of
prices
them
How much
made.
people are demanding for it, I would think.
What was that?
I would think that too much people are demanding an electric vehicle until
don't think so?
recently.
I see. So you're saying that they're being forced to need these cars now because of the
gas prices.
right. Well, and what happened? And then same thing's going to happen with food, right? Because the reality is, one of the things that Ukraine is a big producer of is food, wheat, and feed for our animals, right? What's that, Baz?
What do
I
they?
said, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with you.
What? You are? Who
I know, right?
Hey,
Who are you?
So surprising.
Baz, what was the Google answer to video gaming that died?
Oh.
Like real quick.
It was awful.
Stadium.
Stadia.
Stadia. That's
Stadia.
it. Stadia. Thank you, Vibe. Yeah, that's right. Stadia, and that didn't see. I've got to say that is something that makes me
Didn't
nervous
that do
about.
like atrociously?
It went
that
down
was
like a fart. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
People
horrible.
didn't want to subscribe to something.
Failed
Well-
almost instantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like CNN Live or whatever it was, or CNN Online or whatever it was called. That news network that was going to start that just like died.
What was that thing I thought you were going to star in all the time? Ubi or no? What the hell was that thing called?
Oh, that
It
weird
was-
Tubi or whatever. No, that weird. Yeah, there's that
Yeah,
weird thing that was
like-
doing shorts and stuff.
Yeah, everything had to be in an up like a phone.
Oh, that's right. It had
Like-
to be in portrait mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Zuckerman or somebody like that ran it.
I
or
guess the
started
real
it.
purchase price is going to be 250,000 euros. What? No. Really?
Wait,
No.
euros are real money.
I know, that's like serious stuff. Okay, yeah, it starts at 150k euros. Ah, it starts at 150k euros.
Crunch.
Okay.
Well, that's not 34,000.
No, the $34,000 car is still in development. I see. Okay.
Ah,
It's not an ad. I work for a third-part company who are building the lightweight bodies for the cars. The 34,000 car is still in development. Thanks for. Sorry, Ash. I wasn't accusing you of that. I was just saying that we are looking at a website that is obviously also a marketing tool as well. So while I just want people to make sure that they know that I'm not that it's not a we're just going by what the website says basically. So but Ash, that's fantastic. I'd love if you want to come and talk about it sometime. That'd be amazing. Aptera has also announced a solar car, but this Lightyear looks much more like a normal car. Yeah, that's it. The normal part. See, I'll tell you, I wish I could get a 4-seater golf cart. That's all I need. I need a 4-seater golf cart so that Jane, myself, Baz, and the dog can all sit in a little car and drive around. That's all I need. Just to get around Toronto. That's it. Maybe it's got a little pickup
honestly,
on the
you
back.
don't need 4 people because ain't no way Bad's gonna be caught dead in that thing. So you just need 3 people on a duck.
Well, then you
Yeah,
could buy one of those
2
little
people.
smart cars.
2 people.
You
Yeah.
could buy one of those little smart cars then. But I don't think that would be so, it's just a means of transportation. I don't care. I mean, people used to laugh at me during Stargate because they all had these big fancy cars and I drove a Toyota Echo because it was the cheapest car you could buy. I'd love to get a Cybertruck because it's totally Mad Max. I'm totally with you on that. Although I got to say, I would be up for I would totally look into a solar. I would look into this Ash's Lightyear car for sure.
Are
Absolutely.
your people from Scotland?
My people?
Scottish, let's say.
No,
Yeah, you know.
we're all snotty Brits. We're total Brits.
Are you sure? Because this penny pinching I'm hearing
We're from
sure sounds kind of Scotch.
really? We're from Pitt stock, right? I want to know where my father I think is Irish actually. I think there's some Irish in my dad. Irish my
So
dad.
you like to drink and fight. Okay, I get it.
Oh god,
I
yeah.
see.
Of course. Don't we all?
Exactly. That's
but-
my people too.
Yeah. And that lovely
And
little
since I can't fight, you just have to be ready to fight
I've never
if you go
been
with
there.
me somewhere.
I've never been to Ireland, and
No,
Yeah,
I want to go there
gotta
so
do it.
bad.
All right, was there anything else on my list? I had a whole bunch of things. I want to make sure I get through my list today because I don't want to have to rechange the title. I don't have to change my title. So I've done that. Oh, I wasn't even going to talk about the turbine. Magic mushrooms that can heat. That's it. So these mushrooms that you can then grow. Basically, I'll give you this one because it's a good link.
Are we getting freebie info here? Extra?
This is extra. I'm giving you extra. So this is a whole thing about these mushrooms that you can. So they're eating plastic they're growing. People can eat them, or you can use them for fuel to burn things, or you can use them for insulating your house.
Or for packing.
Or
use them
packing
for
materials.
packing
Yeah,
units?
packing materials as
Yeah,
well. Yeah, people
cool.
looked into that as well. I mean, to me, I feel like this is the future. I mean, this is what we want to be looking at. We want to be driving solar powered cars, and we want to be eating mushrooms that eat plastic. You know what I'm saying? So here is
My pup and I want fart powered cars. But that's just us.
well, that's methane, right? So you could do that.
I'm just saying, we want cars we can personally
You'd have to
gas up ourselves.
Well, I sort of wonder if eventually we're going to have systems that just take a little bit of stuff from everything, right? Maybe it will start.
You might have a big compost heap that your mycelium grow on, and
yeah, there you go.
You can capture the methane and use that.
I looked into what were the best mushrooms to grow that would eat dog poop, because we've got Huzzah who runs around taking giant dumps all over the place. I would rather not. It really bothers me that we take these so-called biodegradable plastics, we pick it up in a little plastic bag, we tie a little plastic bag, we throw it in the freaking garbage, and then the sun and everything has to break down all of that biodegradable plastic. It doesn't mean it's breaking down into anything more than tiny microplastics, right? So
that's a good idea. What if you could make carpet that could eat pet people?
Oh, I wish. We've got. I mean, it's not very green, but we've got AstroTurf in our backyard, because the dog would just
plastic.
Yeah, the dog runs around and it turns it into a mud pit. So we put down AstroTurf, and I was like, Jane, there's no way we're doing this. This is ridiculous. It's never going to work. And of course, she was right. It's great because it's also
AstroTurf is the best for Zaza.
Oh, yeah. And it's permeable. It's permeable, right? So she takes her poop.
Okay.
She poops or she pees, and then the rain comes and it'll break it down. It'll just seep into the ground.
Yeah, and the best part is that she doesn't eat it.
And she doesn't.
Can't eat
yes, that's right. And she doesn't dig it as well, which is
she can't dig or eat.
Dear David, my friend Pavel, nicknamed Russian Orel, is a big fan. Please wish him a happy birthday. It will be very nice for him. He turns 31. 31? I shouldn't be wishing you happy birthday. You're like a child. All right. Well, happy birthday, Pavel.
You would wish a child happy birthday?
He's 31. He says, 30. He's made it to 31. That's pretty great.
I know, I'm saying you wouldn't wish a child a birthday.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Now, if you could
I'm not
convince,
had enough
now,
of him to
if
suffer.
Pavel could now convince Putin to get out of Ukraine, that'd be amazing. That would be a great birthday present, wouldn't it?
You know what? You should take credit when that happens.
Oh yeah, you should. It would be Pavel. If it happens, I'm going to thank Pavel for it.
No, it's all going to be Hewlett.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Oh yeah, well that too. Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I told the guy in Twitch chat, and that's what happened.
And that's what happened. I fixed it. But look, I'm sorry. All sort of political joking aside, though, boy, it would be really, really nice if Russia was out.
That would be nice.
Happy birthday. Yes. There's a tiny septic tank you can buy and bury it in your yard for dog waste. I did see that, Batwin. I couldn't find one that made sense for us. Because they seem to run out. Like, it seems like you can get to a point where they get too full, and I don't want one that's too full.
Oh, yeah, that would be a problem. Isn't that what the two guys from Tremors, that's what they did. They went and emptied septic tanks.
Ooh. Is that what they were doing? That is.
Yeah, I believe that was their job.
There was a guy who used to drive around the point, and he used to do the septic tank pump outs. And it said what I can't remember what the name was. It was like, Point Robert Septic. And it was like, we're number one in the number two business.
Ooh.
Which I thought was a great.
Clever.
Yeah, great title. I invite you to visit my makerspace in Northern Ireland. Oh my God, that'd be freaking amazing, Sir Dragon Chris. Because here's the deal. Did I tell you guys this? That I think we're gonna try to fix up the basement so that my nieces can stay here while they're at university. Because it's the cost of living in Toronto has become prohibitively expensive. Like, it's thousands and thousands of dollars just for like a studio apartment. And
you're just going to charge them a fraction of that, right?
And I'm only going to charge them $3,000 or $4,000. Yeah. So we're going to fix this place up so that they could potentially live down here and have their own separate way in and out. But here's the problem: is that means that I don't have a lair anymore. So
you still have. Okay, Dad.
Yeah.
You still have my old room when all this is done.
Right. I have your old room. Is it as big as this? No.
Wait. The room that you're in right now?
Yeah, the room that I'm in currently.
Yeah.
Is what my dad's getting.
Is it the same size?
It's probably the same size, if not bigger.
Smaller. It's smaller. It's definitely smaller.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Or I've eaten.
Because I'm pretty sure my room is the exact same. Oh, no, it might be smaller. No, the bed may just make it seem like it's smaller.
That's true. The bed. There would be no bed in there for me unless I get kicked out, I suppose. But so
would your mom would your wife let you grow mushrooms and things upstairs?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. Like, that's what I'm worried about.
No, but Dad, you still also get over half the basement.
No.
He's just a big complainer.
It's a tiny corner. It's a tiny sliver of the basement. Basically.
You get the entire entranceway.
Well, and I'm going to have to park. And where am I going to park the electric, the solar powered Lightyear vehicle in the garage if I'm going to be using the garage as my makerspace?
You won't. Yeah. You'll be using. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, and if there's some girls around, David won't be able to lift his leg and light his farts like he does.
Which I've never ever done. I just want to say I've never ever done that. Not
for free.
Potter Hobbit, thank you very much. Thanks for sharing your what is it called? A disease? Would it be a disease? Is that the term? I mean, it was fascinating to learn about it. But thanks for coming by, Captain Catherine.
Yeah, thank you.
Why did I just picture that? Yeah, I'm sorry, Captain Catherine. This is why Gimpy G should really, this is why I'm always sound slightly disappointed when he shows up in our stream. It's
who knew muscular dystrophy strikes the center of your brain that
comedy gold
censors what you're going to say.
It takes it away. That's it. You've lost all your filters.
It's the cocaine of diseases. Go ahead.
It's minimized. It's not only is it minimized the ability of his muscles to move. It's also minimalized his own filters. Well, Z Black Rider likes it. And so does Captain Catherine. So your comedy gold.
There you go.
Your comedy gold. Your comedy gold is always welcome here. All right, let me see if I can pull up this video. So this is this mycelium stuff. So that is what they're talking about right there. Is this mycelium that they're creating in giant flats? Look at that. See? Look at that. See? So they grow that, right?
Right.
It eats the stuff, gets formed into these big sheets that can then be used to insulate buildings. Are we going to see them do that now?
Oh.
See, look at that. And it's lightweight and, of course, entirely biodegradable, I'm assuming. Although I say that, I'm assuming it is just because it's natural material. But
do you think it's hard to grow or you can do it at home?
No, I've got a kit that can do it. I literally have this material here, and I should.
That is so neat.
But where am I going to grow it, right, Baz? I can't grow it in your old bedroom. Jane will freak out if there's fungus growing in. Right? Oh, maybe I should get one of those giant, shipping containers and work out of that.
Do you have a lot of lot with your land?
No.
Or do you have?
It's a little lot. Not a lot. It's a little lot.
Because I was thinking you could have a shop, build one of those metal shops, then.
Oh, that's what I want.
That'd be awesome.
I want plasma cutters and welding tools and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, things that you can totally kill yourself with.
Absolutely, we could build Mad Max wheelchairs and stuff. You know what I mean? Total Mad Max wheelchairs.
Epic.
Yeah.
I thought of a good idea. I don't know. I think it'd be easy to make. Okay, the kids do this thing with me that they think's fun. They make a fist and they put it under my elbow. Okay.
Right.
And if they do that, I can actually bend and straighten out my arm because they've removed friction from the equation.
Oh, interesting.
So if you could build some kind of, I've seen where super heavy doors have, you can push them with a pinky finger because the hinge is just so. I wonder if you could put something under a hand or under an elbow or my forearm that was super efficient or not. Not bringing up any friction, and I can maybe move around more.
So you would be able to move because there's that much less resistance on your muscles.
Right, or you could even do something that came over the top. It was like a pulley system, and then just the weight of my arm is the only thing that keeps it down. Then if I lift as hard as I can, perhaps I can overcome the remainder or use the spring. I don't know if this is true or not.
Well, that's sort of an exo. Yeah. Also, that's where you could get into exoskeletons and all that kind of stuff, isn't it?
Right. But just something simple to see if I'm right. Because I can move my hand when I do the fist thing.
Oh, you can't. So you can actually form a fist?
I can't form a fist. They make a fist, put it under my elbow like a ball. You could probably do a tennis ball as well.
Right.
But they just think it's fun. We also invented a way to use your face just to do rock, paper, scissors.
You're
So
always
you
in
have
this.
to use your
Are
hands.
you always in this rock, or how does it work?
No, you puff your cheeks for rock. You stick out your tongue for scissors, and then don't do anything for paper.
Ha! Blank stare.
Just
Blank paper.
blank stare paper.
Nice.
Chubby cheeks rock.
Got it.
Tongue stick out. And we would play that for hours if we were stuck in the car or something.
Ha! See? Sorry. Yes, that is cloth. See, Black Raider. So this is this again this mycelium being used to grow fabric, basically. So they're using it as a fabric as well.
That is so neat.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff. It's the same thing like with this, like growing cell cultures and stuff, like being able to grow meats in little petri dishes underneath the restaurant, because then there's no shipping costs, there's no feeding costs, there's no or very limited numbers of feeding costs and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. And you're not, because I think that's a huge use of fossil fuels, right? Is shipping foods here and there. So if you're growing them,
absolutely,
yeah.
I mean,
that's fantastic.
Anything that's available. I mean, potentially, I guess we could all have little mycelium and
yeast or something.
Well, like bioreactors and stuff. Yeah, I suppose you could have little bioreactors to create materials that you could use for things. You could be growing various different meats that you would almost like plants in a way. You'd go down, oh, our meat's ready, let's have steak tonight, that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it's kind of neat, actually. And then of course there's Naquita generators. Thank you, Callange. All right, let me just make sure there's nothing else on my list. Oh yes, this was kind of cool. So this was a. Let me share this with you because this was neat. Okay, this is another little microplastic thing actually, which I missed, and you'll see, it's this little it's not really a robot, but it's kind of robot-like, which I think is kind of neat. Look at that. See that little star thing? There's this weird sort of star-shaped thing there. You mix that with a little hydrogen peroxide, I believe. Is it hydrogen peroxide? Yeah. A little bit of hydrogen peroxide, and the bacterium-sized devices glom onto microscopic particles and begin breaking them down. So
really?
It's these tiny little nano micro robot type things, and they'll actually get in there and start breaking down these plastics. They propel themselves through a small channel and are collected by a magnet, bringing up to 70% of microplastic particles along for the ride. After a week, all four had begun degrading, losing between 0.5 and 3% of their weight. That's the effect it had on the plastics. Because again, the issue is not the plastics, is not so much how to break plastics down. The question is how to break plastics down in a cheap, effective, and non-environmentally destroying way. Like, we could burn them, but obviously burning plastic is just horrific for the planet. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of neat. This is one of Baz's kind of inventions. You know what I mean? One of Baz's little nanobots. But it's this little star-shaped thing that they've created that has magnetic particles on it. And for some reason, I don't entirely understand this photocatalyst stuff, but it's a hydrogen peroxide that makes the bots actually move. I'm not sure exactly how, but apparently if you expose it to visible light, it causes the electrons in the devices to absorb energy from and react with the surrounding water and hydrogen peroxide, making the bots move. So it's basically like a chemical-induced movement. And so that speeds up the process of them hitting plastics and then starting to chew on those. So it's just kind of cool.
You ever feel like there's like a whole different type of human being that's working on this stuff? And then there's the rest of us.
Yeah, James Gurneys. There's 100 million James Gurneys out there building little nanobots. That's the thing. They're like tiny replicators. Exactly, Top Fuel. Yeah, but wait a second. Here's a question. So those tiny nanobots have destroyed the plastics, but then aren't there now tiny little nanobots floating around in our water instead? Oh, I guess
but they're delicious.
And that's where they use the magnet, I guess, to go and pick them all up.
I just want to say, if the nano things aren't harmful to anything, then I feel like that would be fine.
Yeah.
What was that? If you what?
If they're not harmless to anything, then I feel like the nanobots would be fine.
Yes, and the fact is, because they're magnetic, we can probably magnetically remove them from the water, right? And with them would come all of the plastic crap as well. So, K McCabe, have fun. Thank you very much. So they have to mix those with hydrogen peroxide together with the water. I think so, caveman crafting, which of course made me then think, wait a second, am I going to put hydrogen peroxide in the water? Isn't that going to cause issues?
In the entire
Yeah. Don't mind the tiny robots. Just don't go too close to a microwave. Yeah, could you imagine if you microwave that water? That wouldn't be good.
What if you
Jessen, thank you very much. Hemp and fungi will be the future. Will be very useful for planet colonization, says Jessen, 1981, which I could see. I mean, thank you for the subscription if I didn't already just say that. But yeah, I think fungi are definitely going to be a big part of it. Hemp, I don't know much about hemp, to be honest. I mean, it's got such a bad rap because it's almost everyone always immediately starts making 420 jokes and pot and stuff.
Yeah.
But the reality is, yeah, hemp is a plant grown material that could be used for fabrics and all sorts of stuff that in the same way that very much more expensive, much more planet damaging. It's been done in a much more planet damaging way in the past. But because hemp could get you high, people didn't want you growing it. So
did you hear what Randolph Hearst is the one who killed hemp? He had tons and tons of money, right?
Yeah.
Because he was a newspaper guy, right? So he wanted to secure his own newspaper product, for printing. But then he became heavily invested in logging. And then when hemp came along and they said they could make paper out of it super cheap, he started saying, well, reefer madness, and used his widespread control of news to vilify it. So he probably single-handedly did that. Because
it's
so
been
good
around forever, right? I mean, hemp is
Right.
something that used to grow in North America anyway? No, it's Central Asia. Okay.
I don't know.
It's recorded in China as early as 2800 BCE and was practiced in the Mediterranean countries of Europe early in the Christian era, spreading throughout the rest of Europe during the Middle Ages. There you go. And
weed or like
the hemp. It was like a vital crop in North America in the early 1600s. It was the law of the land to grow it. Early settlers produced hemp for various applications such as oil, clothing, sailcloth, and rope. There you go. So I guess that, and then I'm guessing that's when things got.
It's always greed, dude. It's greed.
Yeah, I mean, how do you control these things? How do you become the only source of it? And then how do you make a ton of money doing it? Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, I mean, I feel like if there was a better way of somehow, I don't want to get into sort of whole sort of like communist spreading out the spread out.
No, I'm with you.
But I think it's important for us to be able to earn our own money and succeed and do these things. But I think there has to be some kind of a system for people who can't do that. And I think there also has to be some kind of checks and balances for a system that is destroying the planet. I mean, that I feel like if we can't figure it out, then I guess that's what government has to do. And of course, that immediately makes me a socialist, and people get mad and that I'm woke and things.
Woke. I forgot somebody called.
Oh man, yeah. They were quite offended that I was considering that potentially I might have some bias, which of course I do.
Yes. Being thoughtful. Gross.
The problem is human nature is kind of anti that. I know. I don't understand. Z Blackrider says we're all socialists at heart. I don't know that we are, though. I wish we were to some extent, but I don't think we are. Don't worry, David. You are actually pretty conservative in a lot of ways still. It's true. It's true. You don't have to respond to people like that, though. I get why it's hard not to. Yeah, no, I know I don't have to respond to them, but I think I guess my whole point of talking about this whole bias thing was because I see a lot of people of color talking about it, and then I see a lot of white guys saying like, "Oh, you're a racist if you think this, and you're a racist if you think that." And I think that there's a danger there that people believe that racist is something that people choose. You know what I mean? And I think yes, there are some people who are going to choose to be racist, but I think that what's much more subtle and much more terrifying about it is that there are people who don't even know they are, right?
Right. It's interesting.
And if you're not willing
the word
to, sorry, yeah, go.
Well, it's just interesting that we've made the word. People understand being a racist is bad, but now they don't know what components make up being a racist.
Yes.
And that you can just be in a society doused in it.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes you racist.
And if you've grown up in a systemically racist society,
Right.
then of course you're gonna have bias and stuff. Even if you're, and so I guess my point was just not that, again, I hate the. I don't even the woke thing. I don't even understand. I don't understand it. Sounds like a made up word to me. But anyways, the point being is, I guess all I was doing was just trying to analyze my own perspective on this stuff, because I feel like it's kind of important as someone who has, who has grown up white, straight, and male. I'm obviously going to have a
just that
very
right age.
and fantastic, I might add. That I feel like it's probably important for me to start sort of just questioning some of my perspectives on things, because obviously it's not the same perspective that a large part of the
Was there a
population.
component to what you're doing that you're saying, look, I'm just looking at myself. I'm not calling you anything. I'm seeing this in myself. So maybe you can see it in yourself. You're implying that part. That's people don't.
Kind of. And it's also self-defense to some extent as well. Like, I feel like I've got to do this because I don't want to be, I felt like before I got into this stuff, there was a part of me that was like so scared I was going to get caught out as being racist, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? There's a part of me that's scared that I'm going to say or do something inadvertently that is racist or biased or unthinking or whatever, because of my upbringing and what I'm used to, and and how different the world was when I was a kid, but maybe only for me, right? I thought the world was a different. People always talk about like, oh, it was different when we were kids. It was much simpler and stuff. It was much simpler because of your sphere of perspective on this stuff, right?
When you were a kid, you were simpler. You didn't know everything going on around you and the bills being paid.
Yeah, so it makes a big difference. Anyway, so I guess my point is just that I think to some extent this is a self-defense thing on my part as well. I mean, I'm trying not to be sort of virtue signaling type, that whole sort of thing about where it's like sort of like, oh, I'm not racist because of this.
Right.
My approach, which I find works the best, is to assume that I'm wrong about stuff, and then when I'm proved, and then you've got things to fix, right? Otherwise, you don't. I mean, if you just assume that you've got everything right and that there's nothing to work on, then you're kind of, it's like, where are you going to go with that? So anyway, so that's my approach on that. And I'm sure it's frustrating for some people.
I like it.
I apologize that that's the case. Look, the funny thing is we haven't even started on ableism, right?
True.
I mean, that's a whole other thing, right? I mean, it's what do they call it? Intersectionality. What do you do if you're black and have disabilities, or you're black and gay and have disabilities of sorts? I mean, there's so many different combinations of things there that fight against each other, and but
disabled and gay or bisexual, that I'd be rejected in 2 different languages.
Well, and that's it. And also you've also got there are movements in various different that are supporting various different things that struggle with bringing in other areas as well, right? So you've got traditionally, the Black Lives Matter movement have found themselves butting heads with the LGBTQ2 plus community as well, because there's race issues, there's sexual orientation issues. I mean, and there are people who will fall between the cracks on those things. So
why are the same people always brought up as the focal point for hatred? I wonder. Like Jewish people, since millennia, they've been the focus of.
But again, I would say that's probably isn't that just systemic? I mean,
I think so, but it seems like even you move on to a new society, you move on, totally new leaders. We said it was bad, and then it creeps back up again. I mean, there's a lot of anti-Semitism.
I'm amazed.
4chan.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that it's a thing. I remember the first time I encountered it. I was at work, and my boss used a very anti-Semitic term about some negotiations, and I was so shocked that I found myself going like, well, he couldn't have meant it like that, could he? Like, I literally couldn't, because I'd grown up in this very, I guess, sheltered, or maybe it was a more, I mean, there were definitely Jewish kids at our school, and definitely Jewish kids who were friends of the family and stuff, I guess. So maybe I was just used to that. But I know my grandparents were very. I mean, my grandmother used to say the most horrifically anti-Semitic things. Lovely, very intelligent woman, but she would just say these stupid things that were just not.
Are you saying getting a deal? That terminology, like if you're going to go try to get a better price for something.
Yes, yeah, that was the term.
And
I was absolutely shocked. I couldn't believe that it was. I thought maybe I'd misheard it. Like I felt bad because I was like, I think I must have misheard it. But then they literally didn't buy anything from this company, this lovely father and daughter company, because they were convinced that no matter even if it seemed like the best deal in the world, there's no way it could be because they were Jewish and they were running this company. It was bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
This proves your systemic thing, buddy, because I didn't even know about Jewish people until I was like 8 or 9. But I knew the term.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
I knew the term for trying to get a bargain, and all these other terms. Had no idea it was based on. I just thought it was a word unto itself.
It's just like a terminology with no connection. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, we used to use the F word, like, oh, you're such a, what, as a kid. And again, we had no, we meant no malice by it, but of course we did. In that we didn't, once you understand what that word means, there's malice, and I can only imagine it'd be like growing up gay at a time when people were throwing that term around like it was the worst thing you could be. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know what, as I say this, I realize, I mean, I grew up in Forest Hill, which is a predominantly Jewish neighbor, was when I was growing up, was a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. So maybe that's why it was so surprising. That's why maybe perhaps I hadn't heard the kind of anti-Semitism that might have been prevalent in other parts of Toronto and surrounding areas. This was, by the way, also outside of Toronto as well, which I think has a different. I think the further you get away, I think the less diverse your population becomes, which is often the case as you get further away from a city center. I think the more people just don't. I mean, again, if you don't realize the damage you're doing by saying and believing these things, again, I think this is the hard. I remember Obama doing a speech to a bunch of kids at university and saying that here's the problem: good people do bad things, and bad people do good things. And it makes the world a very, very difficult place.
Complex.
Yeah. Amazing. Look, it's one of the reasons why I loved Obama. I've got to say, it was just that I felt he was such an amazing orator. Like, he could talk. His speeches were some of the best. His speeches were like, yeah, I mean, he was just a classy guy. Whether you agree with his politics or not, and I didn't always agree with his politics, to be honest, but I just felt that he was a classy man.
I was always felt like he's too conservative. And so for the people that thought he was like a crazy, out of control, leftist, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Hey, I mean, look, I mean, I don't love, I don't really love the idea of the guy who's running Ontario right now, but the fact of the matter is he won the election. So, okay, let's see what he can do. And that's, the idea is, the hope is that you can see you can look for the positives as well as the negatives in these things. So,
right.
Yeah, Captain Catherine, that was a bit of a shock to me as well. Jacander says, see, this is so odd for me. I grew up in Detroit until 11 years old. I was very much a white minority in that city. One of the 400 white kids in a school of 4,500. Wow. Race was everywhere, and we saw how effed up it was and how unfair stuff was back then. Yeah, I mean, that's it, Jacander. It just depends on your experience, right? But again, the very fact that we're white means that we have had a different experience, and people will call it privilege, and maybe it absolutely is, I think, given the system. But at the same time, I think it's everyone has a unique perspective on it, right? I think who was it? It was oh God, it was. There was this wonderful comedian who said, like, you've got to just keep in mind that asshole you met on the street today could just have been having a bad day. You know what I mean? Like, anyways,
no.
What was that?
Was it a nice comedian?
Yeah.
Or somebody who's...
No, it's a nice comedian. I can't think who it was now. It might have even been, Mork and Mindy.
Jeffries?
It might have even been, no. He's very clever too, but he tends to be a little bit more crass about the stuff, doesn't he? No, I'm pretty sure it was Robin Williams. Pretty sure. Now I think about it. I think it was Robin Williams. Yeah, smart. Or Carlin. It could have been Carlin too. That's true. George Carlin was smart about that too. Look, I'm sorry to do this, but I think I'm going to wrap up. I'm feeling a bit.
Yeah.
What time is it? How long have we been going? What time?
Been going 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Shut the front door. Seriously? Oh my
I
God.
believe so.
Boy, we can talk. This is what happens when Elsa shows up.
Yeah, Elsa.
That's what it is. It's Elsa's fault.
Probably not even
We
here.
start having way too much fun because Elsa's here. Elsa's probably asleep by now. You must be asleep by now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I knew it. You gotta be. What time is it there for you? Bat food?
Wait. It's 11.
11 p.m. And what time did you get up this morning?
I think around 7.
Yeah. Okay. Then for the sake of Bat Food and Elsa and for myself, who may go back to bed now because I'm feeling really achy because of this stupid vaccine, which I'm very glad I took. I think we're going to wrap up. Let's wrap it up. Although I did want to say one thing. Vibe Pup.
What vaccine did you get?
Oh, it's for shingles. Remember the grown up? It's like the grown up. Well, not the grown up because Bat Food got it. That's how mature she is. That's why you sound so mature, Bat Food.
That's right.
It's because you got shingles. That's what it was. Vibe Pup, how do you feel about this as a crazy idea? Do you want to run a Tech Bandits episode? Like you pick the topics and you run it?
Look, pressure.
I mean, we can help you out. Gibby G and I can help you out with it. But I mean, do you want to like do like a? Do you want to host your own?
It would be fun to pick the topics, but
But not run it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we should coordinate and you should pick some topics and send them to me. If you get inspired this week, send me some topics and then I'll line them up for next week. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah.
All right. Perfect. In fact, we could even do a revolving, we could have Elsa could do one, Ham could do one, bag of chips, whoever. But I thought Vibe Pup should certainly be the first because Vibe Pup has been here every freaking time.
Man.
Yeah.
Guy's a rock.
Yeah. He's not like Elsa who just comes swanning in here with her stories of pizza, and hard work, No, we love it. It's so good to hear from you, Elsa.
Yeah. It's really good to chat with you.
You sound like it's really good to
She's
sleep.
so sleepy.
All right, get out of here, everybody. Be safe, be kind, be brilliant. I will wrap this up. Is there anyone I should be rating, by the way? Is it rating that should be done?
I'm pretty sure paleontologizing is on.
Ooh, we like that, don't we? All right, let's do this. Let's raid. And could someone put the spelling in for me? Oh, and wait a second. I didn't even know Cal was here. She was so quiet. I guess she's celebrating. It's her birthday, I guess, so she's probably just being very quiet about it. She's probably having a little celebration at home. Cal, thank you very much for your secret modding. We very much appreciate it. Jacander Painting wants Maker Deck. Paleontologizing, we haven't done them for a while. Could someone give me the spelling of it? Cal's already emoting me.
Paleo.
Because I tend to raid the wrong people.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm copying.
Spelling is awful.
Name right now.
I'm terrible.
What's that, buddy?
I'm copying the name right now, so I can.
Oh, are you the best? Okay, great. And as I say, come up with some. Thanks, Wolf Pup. Come up with some topics, and we'll do the Vibe Pup edition next week if you want. Here we go. We're gonna raid. So everyone, be safe, be kind, be brilliant. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Much, much appreciated. Oh, and like I said, the mailing list. Go to go to techbandits.org and sign up for our mailing list. If I haven't screwed up, it's possible I've screwed up the link because I've been working on the site. But or I'm David I. Hewlett at gmail.com if you want to just get in touch that way. But I want to create a big giant mailing list of everybody. Oh, and let me know what city you live in too. Not where you live, just the city, because I want to do that big map of where everyone lives as well. So, all right, just did that yesterday. It still works. Oh, good, Captain Catherine. Thank you very much. Although I was playing with it yesterday, so I might have broken it from there. All right, everyone. Thank you much. Gippy G, as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Iron Ham, I really, really appreciate it. I know you've got lots of things going on.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to start the raid right now. Be safe, be kind, be brilliant. Cheerio, and huzzah! Goodbye, Elsa.
Bye-bye.
Here we go. 10 viewers, 20 viewers, 29 viewers, 42 viewers. How many viewers?
42.
Holy crap, how many are there?
59.
What the hell? I didn't know we had that many people.
63.
Wow.
Yeah, no, yeah, we had 77 at one point.
Oh my God. Well,
let's
okay. Let's
kicking
raid.
80 around.
Seriously? I gotta get better about incoming. Here we go.
And it's just growing.
Dino love to you. Here we go. Paleontologist.
Oh, you know what sucks? This guy's a scientist and like wickedly handsome.
I know.
You bastard.
Is he part of a club with James Gurney? He must be.
I bet so.
Oh, we got to stop.
They're going to replace
I'll end the
us.
stream too before James gets too excited about stuff. Thank you, James. Bye.